Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review. Today it is another Watchalong live commentary of the game between Newcastle United and Brentford, of course, at the Community Stadium. And, well, can we continue our good run, our fantastic form going into this game? I believe we can. Injury news is that Maxie's missing today, which may be a blow because I would think Maxie would have probably started had he been fit. But unfortunately, that's not the case today. We'll go through the teams before we look at some of the comments already in. There is the Newcastle United lineup for today when it eventually decides to pop up. There it is. Nick Pope in goal, Kieran Trippier the captain, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman. Dan Burn retains his place, despite rumours that Matt Targett may well have come in for him today. That hasn't happened. Dan Burn starts. Bruno Longstaff, Joe Willock, and Jacob Murphy retains his place as well. Joe Linton and Alexander Isak gets the start over Callum Wilson. Now, I expected possibly Gordon to start the game today. That's not the case. Murphy goes again. I don't have a problem with that, given the way Murphy's been playing. So we do have some options on the bench again, of course. We've got Dubravka, Dummett, Lascelles, Gordon, Wilson, Ritchie, Targett, Manquillo, Anderson. So really, you would say out of those substitutions that will probably make a difference, you've got certainly Anthony Gordon, Callum Wilson, and of course, Elliot Anderson. Those are the three that I would likely say would come on at some point during the game. Brentford, they line up with Rea in goal, Hickey, Janssen, Pinnock, me, Henry, Norgard, Jensen, De Silva, Schade, and Ivan Toney. So, you look at that Brentford side and you think, well, surely we can beat these guys. But Brentford have had a hell of a season, playing really well at home. The home form is absolutely fantastic. They've beaten some very big sides at the Community Stadium this season. So we're kind of up against it. Certainly, if we have a bad start again and play like we did in the first half at West Ham, I think Brentford would punish us more than what West Ham did. But I don't think we'll come out like that again today. I think we'll be flying, to be honest, from the word go. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Lots of chat before I started, actually, but I can only go from when we started. Mr. Spoons, good evening. John's Backdoor, good afternoon. Sorry. No SM on the bench. No, he's injured. He's got a hamstring issue. How are the lads, says Kendo. Samsonite is going with a 3-0 win for Newcastle with 2 from Isak. ASM took a knock on Wednesday. Then Toon Gamer says he pulled a hamstring in training. So I don't think anybody's sure yet until probably that Eddie lets us know what was the crack. Jack says, feel bad for Maxi if he's injured as he was just picking up some form and back to full fitness. In other news, 4-0 to the Toon. Yeah, that's a disappointment, isn't it? Because we were just saying on the show last night in the preview that Maxi was playing really well, but that was because he was back to full strength. He looked really fit and ready to go. And he hasn't been that way for quite some time. And then all of a sudden, he struck down again with this one. Really, it's a shame. Jordan says, I've just seen someone post Man United saying bullied Everton. Well, they didn't. First half, kind of. But again, Everton are, blamed for their own downfall, really, with the goals they conceded. Clone Lad, good afternoon to you. Let's have a good stream and a good victory for today. Oh, my God, no ASM, says Abdul. No, he's injured, unfortunately. Prowler says, I've got COVID, so don't make me laugh, Paul. I'll try not to, mate. I'll try not to. Hopefully the lads will give us a bit of fun today and also a good victory. That's what we want. That's what we want. Alan says, shame we only have Big Joe to fill in for Maxi. How on earth can we survive? Yeah, look, I think obviously we know what's going to happen with those two on the left. I think really deep down it's Eddie Howe's preferred too, because he likes the way Joe Linton and Willock can interact on that left-hand side. Joe Willock goes forward, Big Joe just comes back into the midfield and vice versa. So it works really well, and hopefully that'll be the case this afternoon. Ian Spoons is going for 2-1 to the Toon. Tom Lynch, good afternoon. Modern away. Mary, good afternoon. And of course, the mod squad bring on a Toon win. Let's hope so. Our bench still looks more than decent, says Andy. Yeah, we've got a few on there that can come on. JP says, afternoon, Paul and family. Sad not to have Maxi, but this is a strong team and a decent bench. So let's get at them. 2-0 to the Toon. Paul, I hope I didn't upset you too much about the tweet earlier. Sometimes my Aussie sarcastics, it didn't, man. Don't worry. All is good. All is good. Big Joe's the 5th best left winger, according to SofaScore. Interesting. Good afternoon, Pedro. ASM has hamstrings like Lucky Bands, says Steve. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, isn't it? You know, he's getting back at full strength and really looking like a player again. And then, bang, struck down again. It's really frustrating. Joe Linton's a beast wherever he plays, says Ricky. Matthew says, I'm staying up for this one, watching from Australia. That's dedication. Paul Tully, good afternoon. Sticking with my 2-1 to the Toon. Bruno to score today. Roger says, a quick short like and check in. Thank you, Roger. 3-0 says Ronald. 2-0 says Scott. God, listen, I've gone 2-0. I just think we'll be up for it. And that defensive line we've got, Byrne has to be better. He has to be better than he was on Wednesday. I think if he has a first half as bad as he played on Wednesday, I think he'll be taken off. You know, now that Matt Targett is back, I think he will be taken off if he has a horrendous time of it. But listen, Bourne's the type of player that will go at you and really attack you. And he certainly got the better of Byrne the other night. Hopefully, Byrne is a bit sharper tonight. But then again, it's been a very short turnaround, hasn't it? So, you know, for me, Byrne looked extremely knackered. And that's the big worry for me. 3-1 Toon, show me the money, says Tom. Hopefully 6-0, just to shut up the Man United fans. Yeah, interesting from a team that doesn't have a rivalry with Newcastle. They were singing about Alan Shearer today. Why? If there's no rivalry with Newcastle, why are you singing about Alan Shearer when you're playing Everton? Crazy. Chris says, hey, Paul, wish you good luck today, lads. Mind that gap. Thank you, Chris. James says, the back four must be shattered. Well, look, these guys are super fit, aren't they? Eddie Howe's got them that way. Let's just hope that they don't have a lot to do today. That we just, you know, we see the game out. We play well. We score a couple of goals, and we just see the game out. That for me, that's what we need to do. Pedro says, I'm surprised with the team, to be honest. I'm a bit worried with us having so many games. I think Tony will score. I'm saying 2-1 with someone scoring in the 90th minute. Oh, God. I don't want a close game like that. It makes sense to rotate some injury-prone players, says Kendo. Yeah, Rashford's got injured. He could be out a while. That's a big blow to Manchester United, but good news for everybody else, I suppose. James says, I think today is going to be 1-0. Isak with a screamer. I'm looking forward to seeing Isak play again, I have to say. We won't concede today, and we will score a bunch, says Andy. Steve, good afternoon. Untelevised 3 p.m. Saturday. That's a turn up for the books. It is. We've been on television a lot lately, haven't we? But not today. Conjo says, I don't think he has been fully fit. Would explain why he's been passing so much. No, I think he's been fully fit, Conjo. I really do. I think he's been at that level that we've needed him to be at. And I think the fact that he's passing a lot more is just something that Eddie Howe is drilling into him, because he needs to pass a little bit more. Some of his shots have been very wayward, as we've known in the past, but he's got this mindset now. Maybe he's passing a bit too much on the other night. I thought he could have shot on a couple of occasions, but look, he's going to be a miss because he's hitting form, and it's really a right kick in the knackers, to be honest. Not been watching the golf, Paul? No, absolutely not. I'm not a golfing fan. We have a new member, Matthew Forster. Welcome to Members Club. If that's a new membership, then thank you very much, or renewal, doesn't matter. Thank you so much. If you do enjoy today's stream, guys, as usual, please do hit that like button for us. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, please do subscribe. It is free to do so. And also hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live, we upload, or we basically have any news for you. So please do subscribe to the channel. And of course, you can donate to the channel if you wish tonight. And of course, if you do donate, your comment goes to the top of the live comments, and I get to see them straight away. So you're guaranteed to have them read out. So that's an extra bonus of making a donation. Just hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments. DK says they're playing 5-3-2. Shame Target isn't playing, as Brentford will be narrow. Yeah, look, that's something that that we'll see during the course of the game. I think, if we're going to be, if Brentford are going to play very narrow, we do have the players that can go out wide. Willett can do it. Joe Linton can do it. We've got the other side where Murphy, Trippier will push up. So there is options there, but we'll see how the game goes. And I'm sure Eddie will manage it accordingly. Paul says, would have liked to have seen Gordon starting, to be honest. He's ready. I thought he might have started, I must admit. But look, we know when Eddie Howe makes these teams, when the teams come out, there's always something in there that quite surprises us. And if I'm honest, I am surprised Murphy is starting because, he started the last 2 games and I would have thought, just a bit of rotation would have happened. But maybe, Gordon's not the level where Eddie thinks he should be starting yet. So we have to go with Eddie on that one. Another one, Farmer Boy in Australia. Ian Skinner says, afternoon, Paul. Looking forward to a real competitive game. That's all I want. 3 points would be nice as well, mate. Jake says, let's get the 3 points out of Brentford. Pedro, Anderson and Gordon and Wilson on the bench, so not bad subs if needed. Exactly. And I think, like I said before at the start of the show, I think those 3 are the 3 that will come on. Certainly if we need to make an impact in the game. Hopefully we don't, and they end up just coming on to, try and get a few more goals. I don't want to see us behind and chasing the game. So they are the 3 that would be needed if we do need to change the game as well, though. Afternoon, Paul, from Thessaloniki. Let's hope for another 3 points. Rachel's in the house. Just woke up. Glad an Amazon package turned up, or else I would still have been asleep. Well, good. Rachel, that's really good. Shane's going for an Isak masterclass today. I hope you're right, bud. I hope you're right. Afternoon, everyone. I think it will be 3-1 win today. Big Joe, Botman, and a rare own goal for our goals today. Ray's a very good keeper. He's had a good time at Brentford. He is prone to an error, though. I suppose you could say that about any goalkeeper, though, couldn't you? That they are prone to errors. But, I want to see us pepper him very early, get at him straight away. I want to see Nick Pope have very little to do, and Ray be the much, much busier of the 2 goalkeepers. Start Anthony Gordon, Callum Wilson, and Alexander Isak. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. Troll says nothing has been said about ASM, so might be flu for all we know. I haven't seen anything about Maxi yet. So, like I said, it for me, it's a case of obviously Eddie Howe coming out and saying what is the problem with Maxi. But until then, we don't really know. If it is a muscle injury, then it's a real pain for him because he's been doing so well. If it's the flu or a stomach bug or something like that he can get over very quickly, get back on training, then hopefully be back next week. Daniel, good afternoon to you. New Jersey Geordie's going 3-1 to the Toon. Isak and Bruno will dominate and both score. Elaine's going 3-0 to the Mags. Roger says, hopefully we won't have to dig into the bench too deep, as it does show a bit fragility. Nearly 5 defenders. Richie is a left back. Yeah, Richie can play further forward, though, if needed. But I think the 3 subs that we were talking about before, Wilson, Gordon, and Anderson, they'll be the 3 that will be in probably Eddie's mind at some point during the game. Maxi is so magical, says Kendo. I still expect him to get an assist today. White Rabbit says, interesting that Murphy said most difficult person to play against is Rico Henry. Yes, and of course, Henry playing for Brentford today. Ian Spoon says, back home now and peeling like a zombie with a bad case of dandruff. Well, it serves you right for going away, and leaving us with the, shite weather we have over here. Alan says, I feel Gordon has been integrated into the team slowly. He'll start once he's fully up to speed with tactics or as needed. Well, he's done it before, hasn't he? He's done it with Bruno. And we were all itching for Bruno to start a game and get into the team. And Eddie was very, very patient and just, delayed the time that he was before he came in. And then once he came in, he was just absolutely magnificent. Jimmy, you're here. Our asses are still sore. You were very quiet the other night, Jimmy, I have to say. But welcome back. Our resident hammer, of course, Jimmy Jones. But I hope you're okay, Jimmy. I do think West Ham will survive, if I'm openly honest, but a lot of work to do. £5 super chat from Daniel Brown. Thanks, Daniel. Afternoon, Paul. Botman, bullet header, Isak hat-trick, clean sheet. How are the lads? That would be tremendous if that happens. Message from Rachel saying, please, no all caps, no duplicates, and absolutely no spoilers. Wait for Paul to comment before putting in the chat. Now, obviously, with it not being broadcast over here, probably a lot of people will be listening to the commentary. But the usual rules apply, guys. You put a spoiler in, you get chucked off the channel. Simple as that. There's no ifs or buts. You've got to have respect for other people who are trying to enjoy the stream. So please don't put any spoilers in the chat. If you do, you're thrown off, and it spoils it for everybody else. Have some common decency. Just wait till I've commentated on it, and then we all talk about it together. $9.99 super chat, super sticker from Robert Taylor. No comment there, but thank you very much, Robert. Much appreciated. Woodbeat Farmer says Brentford is number 1 in the Premier League with goals scored versus XG. I would be shocked if Toon gets a clean sheet, to be fair. Look, they haven't played us. This is the difference. They haven't played us at the Community Stadium yet this season, and we are bouncing. So I think Brentford will be worried about us, especially after the results against Man United and West Ham. They know that we're up for this. And they will be cautious as well. I don't think they'll go for the jugular straight away, because they know if they leave gaps at the back, we'll punish them. Because as Eddie Howe said the other day, it was nice. The performance wasn't brilliant, but we were clinical. And we haven't been clinical for a long time. We've always said, the amount of chances we're creating, we just can't put it in the back of the net. Well, it's different now. From Wednesday, we were clinical. We were clinical against Manchester United, took the goals very well. It's very exciting. Stu says it will be class taking maximum points from all 3 games this week. No reason we can't do it. Riding a wave of momentum and confidence is high with the lads. The Toon are a different animal now. And it's a good point you make, Stu, because everybody's talking about fatigue and things like that. But listen, when you're winning football games, and any professional will tell you this, when you're winning games, it breeds confidence and gives you that extra bit of energy. You're riding a wave, as Stu said there. So you're confident, you're positive. Your mental attitude is completely different. You enjoy playing games. These guys would rather be playing games than actually, training. So for me, yeah, it's busy period, but at the same time, we've got a hell of a chance of taking 9 points from these 3 games, which is superb, because I said 7, but if we can get 9, then absolutely even better. Mark says, afternoon, ladies, gents, and Paul. Shame about the skip rats not doing us any favours, but fingers crossed we do what we need to do. Yeah, at the end of the day, look, it's in our hands. No matter how Man United do, it's in our hands to where we finish. Yes, we'd like Man United to lose. Of course we would. But we've got to expect them to win most of their games. They've got, I think they're playing 4 of the bottom 6 or something like that towards the end of the season. So I'd expect them to win games. We're in the same boat. Go and win the games. It's in our hands. If we win all our games that we can, then we're going to stand a magnificent chance of finishing 3rd, which is unthinkable. Paul Toon Under, thank you very much for your $7.99. G'day, Paul. Change the microphone color from Mac and Red, son. It's not a Mac and Red, actually. It's a very sort of dark purpley red. So don't worry about that. It's not Mac and colors at all. Don't you worry about that. I wouldn't have that. I don't know how it comes across on the screen, but it's very, very sort of dark, reddy, purpley color. But it is one of the best mics out there, which is why I'm using it. I can't change the color of it, to be honest, but I do like the microphone. Alan says, I think Burn starts for the defensive height advantage, especially with Tony. Yeah, a lot of people said that, to be honest. A lot of people have said that in the last couple of days leading up to the game, that, the debate of whether Target or Burn will start. A lot of people have said Dan Burn simply because his height and the ability to fit in along with Fabian Schär and Sven Botman, nearly said it, for the height, which could be very important during this game. Paul White's going a 3-1 win to the Toon. Daniel says, excited to come to the Toon game all the way from Australia for the Spurs game. Super excited. It'll be great to see you over, Daniel. Brian says, hello, everyone. I've went for 4-0 to the Toon. Come on, Newcastle. 2-0, says Robert. James says, we can't drop any points now, especially because the top 4 is in our hands. We won't rely on other teams this year. Yeah, exactly what we've just been saying. Dr. Rockter says, good afternoon, Paul. He is hoping for a win. It's going to be tough. I think 1-0 to the Toon. When is Tony going to get done for his betting? His goals can put teams down, or worse, keep Newcastle from top 4. Well, I don't know when that's going to happen, but at the same time, it really doesn't matter. I'm being honest here. It doesn't matter. Our job today is to keep Ivan Toney quiet. You know, we keep him quiet and he doesn't score. It doesn't affect us in the slightest. So at the same time, I understand that, you know, when is the hearing? What's going to happen with that? But on the flip side of it, you know, we just keep Ivan Toney quiet today and we've done our job. Nigel says he's watching from sunny Spain, 3-0 to the Toon. Good luck to the lasses for tomorrow, indeed. And why do the Manx Warblade and Racist tune? It's unbelievable. I haven't got the run songs, that's why. Man United fan here, give us Isak and I'll give you Martial and a pint. Absolutely no chance. No chance. But he did score for you today. So, yeah. Should the Toon take a gamble on Toney this summer? There's been talk of that quite a few times, but listen, I don't see it. If I'm being openly honest, I don't think we'd go back in for Toney. Many people would say why not, but I just don't think. I don't think we need to, and that's not me being big-headed or anything. I think we will go for bigger and better players when the time is right. So for me, I've got to be honest. I don't see it happening. Listen, if he came to Newcastle, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Don't get me wrong, but I think with all the betting stuff and the ban that he's going to have, I just don't see it happen. But that's just the way it is. It's the way it is, guys. Just sorting my stream out here, just getting ready for the kick off. Alvin says, hi, Paul. For those supporters living in the US, the game is on Peacock Network. Yes, it is. Carl says, tougher game than West Ham, but 2-0 win coming up. Let's just hope so. Geordie, how are you, man? Good afternoon to you. JP says, can someone explain why all the games aren't broadcast in England? I'm in South Africa, so forgive my ignorance, but with one subscription, we have access to all the football games, so it doesn't seem right. Listen, it's like you're being punished for living in the UK. I don't know why it is. I don't know what the crack is with all that bollocks, but it's money, isn't it? It really is just about money. And because there's a blanket sort of ban on these kickoffs, it is what it is. Paul Toon Dununda, thank you very much for another $7.99, mate. There's so many loyal Toon supporters from Australia, not plastic, Manure and Loserpool fans. Get in, lads. Well said, my man. Well said. The pitch is looking absolutely stunning at Brentford, by the way. Really good pitch, which will probably suit us. New Jersey Geordie says, hi, Paul. Off topic, but how are you feeling about your New York Rangers heading to the playoffs? New York City is buzzing for the blue shirts over here. Yeah, very, very confident this year. We've got a very, very good side, scoring goals, some clinical finishes. I can't wait till the playoffs start, to be honest, mate, if I'm openly honest, and really looking forward to the playoffs starting. Geordie Lad says, Brentford are just going to play for a point, assuming they are 5 at the back, even though they're at home. Yeah, but they've got dangerous players, very dangerous players. 4-1 to the Toon today. Isak, Murphy, Bruno, and Botman to score. Gary says, congrats on the 18K. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're above that now, heading. The next goal is 19, and so on and so on. And with your guys' help, we can get there sooner rather than later. But please don't forget to hit the like button, please, because it is very important. I keep stating this on every live that we do and every video that we do. Getting likes is very, very important to the channel because it promotes us up there in the search results and things like that. The more we're viewed and the more we're liked, the more we become available on the search results. So it's very, very important. So even if you take 2 seconds time out just to hit the thumbs up button, I'd really, really appreciate that. Stephen says, Dan Burn was awful midweek. Would have preferred Target, but confident of a win. Aston says, still a strong bench without Maxi, hoping Elliot Anderson will get some minutes along with Wilson and Gordon. Brian, good morning to you. I hope you're well. Sabashni says, so proud of the lads. Lots of love from South Africa. We really are all over the world this afternoon. Stephen says, good afternoon, Paul. See you all at halftime. Maxi is made of glass. He will never get more than 20 games and only up to speed in 10 of them. He can't be relied on, I'm afraid, with injuries. Well, we don't know yet. We don't know if he's injured or whether he's just got an illness. Mrs. Toon Review, good afternoon backstage there, modding away. Jonathan says, I don't know why I feel like it's going to be a big goal game for both sides. I'm saying 3-2, last-minute winner from Anthony Gordon. Do you know what? I don't think I could hack that. If I'm being openly honest, I mean, I don't like those kind of close games. They scare the living crap out of me. So I'd rather Newcastle absolutely just pummel them and get it over with early doors so we can enjoy the second half. Just sit back, relax, and play a bit of football, knock the ball around and have a bit of fun. That's what I want to see anyway. But hey, it's Newcastle. It could be it could be either a very rough ride or a fantastic journey. So hopefully we don't hit turbulence. Sophia, good afternoon to you. Hope you're well. Ian says they're playing 5 at the back and War Isak's going to cut through them like a hot knife through butter. I hope you're right, me mate. I hope you're right. Ryan says used to dread games in London in the past. How times have changed. Another win for us today. Well, Newcastle are entering the field of play. So let me just adjust my angles here so I can just get a good view of the picture. Now, remember, obviously, I will state when we kick off here, again, no spoilers. Please, 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 no spoilers. It looks like I'm in good time with this stream today, so looking forward to this. As Thomas Frank has just come onto the pitch and gives Jason Tyndall a big high five, and Eddie Howe big hugs between the two managers. Thomas Frank done a remarkable job, simple as that, remarkable job at Brentford. Got them into the Premier League. Everybody thought they would really struggle and it would be sort of a one-season wonder team. That hasn't been the case at all. He has mastered the Premier League very, very quickly. Brentford, you know, I mean, look, we're even talking about Brentford challenging for a European spot. I don't think that would ever have been said at the start of the season, but he's done such a good job. Now, for us, Mbuemo, Damsgaard are on the bench as well for Brentford, so they do have players that can change a game as well. They're just going through the Newcastle United lineup now. Very, very familiar, of course. Nick Pope in goal, Trippier, Schär, Botman and Byrne, Longstaff, Bruno and Willock, and the front three of Murphy, Isak and Joe Linton. Newcastle are in the blue and gold today, so not in the horrible white and green that we've had no success with at all this season. Sophia's going 3-1 to the Toon. Let's hope you're right. Dave says Thomas Frank has been very respectful of Newcastle and Eddie Howe and nothing but good words about us. Yeah, because he's a class act. You know, these managers are what it's all about. You know, not the Ten Hags of the world who try and get in the referee's head before the game's even kicked off, which for me is pretty pathetic. It really is. But this is what it's all about. Proper managers, proper football, going at it. Really, really looking forward to this game today. I hope the referee has a quiet game. I hope we're not talking about him as the match goes on, because, you know, the more the referee is quiet and doesn't have much, we don't talk about him, then he's had a good game. They're just doing the toss now to see who's going to kick off. Spacebar says, right, come on, you beautiful bunch of bastards. Indeed. Hopefully we have seen the last of the white-green strip. Yeah, we ain't done well. I don't know whether it's it's one of those things, isn't it? You know, you just don't know. Is it some sort of psychological thing when we wear that strip? I don't know. I really don't know. But hey, look, we're in the blue and gold. And look, we last season was brilliant. You know, last season, you know, we performed brilliantly. It's something to look forward to. I mean, all-time record, we've only played Brentford 15 times. Brentford have won 4, Newcastle have won 10, and we've drawn 1. The last meeting, of course, between the sides was at St James's Park, where we beat them 5-1. Last meeting at Brentford was a 2-0 win for Newcastle in February of 22. Premier League record, we've only played 3 times. We've won 2, drawn 1, and Brentford haven't won any. As we're underway at the community stadium. So we are off and running. And he is hoping to another 3 points for Newcastle United, get stuck into them quick and deny them anything. Certainly, our pace, our press is going to be very, very important today. But, we'll have to see. Certainly, I want us to play a lot better than we did in the first half against West Ham. Willock's knocked a long, hearty ball back to Fabian Schär. He brings it out of the air. And it's now with the captain, Kieran Trippier. He will go to the left to Sven Botman. Botman head up, gives it left again to Dan Burn. Burn taking his time, has a look, just rolls it back to Sven Botman. And he will go back to Nick Pope. Newcastle just getting a good feel for the ball early doors. Pope goes left-footed towards Joe Willock. Willock tries a little back heel. Looked as if he was taken down there. He's given a free kick to Brentford. Willock's holding the back of his calf muscle there. Sitting on the ground. He got a kick. I think he'd be all right. It was Janssen who nailed him there, but Bruno committed the other foul. So Brentford have a free kick. Is just over the halfway line. Jensen is going to take it for Brentford. Nothing to talk about really in the first minute and a half, but here we go. Brentford take the free kick quickly. It's out on the right-hand side. Newcastle keeping a good line there. Just a bit of interchange. Now the cross comes in. It's not a great one. Tony, nice little dummy there. And good covering by Isak, but it forced it. Tony comes in across and it's kicked away. And I think it's Kieran Trippier on the line. I don't think that was going in. I think he just sort of, the cross came across from Ivan Tony and Kieran Trippier kicks it away. Tony's looking for a handball in there somewhere. It'd be very harsh if that was given as a handball because Isak just blasted it off Sven Botman. But Brentford do have a corner and a very positive start from the home side here. Very, very congested penalty area for this corner. And Brentford, well, they are dangerous. And certainly set pieces, they'll be looking for opportunities from these set pieces. It's a short corner and it's blocked and out for another throw-in to Brentford. This looks like it's going to be a very long throw. It is indeed. Right into the 6-yard box. Headed away by Joe Linton. Comes to Sean Longstaff. He heads it further out. Newcastle then try and press Brentford and get them out. And at the moment, it's Kieran Trippier on the right-hand side for Newcastle United. Trippier moving up to the halfway line. It was a very interesting corner that by De Silva. It never really got anywhere. But Newcastle United again just knocking it around the back four now. Trippier looks forward for the first time, tries to chip a ball through, but it's blocked on that left-hand side. Schade gives chase here, and then Nick Pope just launches one to the centre circle. Not the greatest kick, but Joe Linton is there. Good work by Joe Linton, letting the ball bounce to Bruno. Now Sean Longstaff. Oh, he tried to get a little ball through to Murphy, but he was caught late, and Newcastle have a free kick inside the centre circle. Good heads-up play again there from Sean Longstaff, trying to thread the ball through a needle's eye there, but unfortunately, it didn't happen, but he was caught very late. Bit of a nasty one, that. Very late. But maybe the referee will have words. Well, Sean's all right anyway, and Trippier will take the free kick for Newcastle United. Very sunny day down in London. Bright skies. Trippier floats it towards the penalty area now. Dan Burn went down, but I think he slipped more than anything else. And again, Joe Linton trying to win the ball back, but the offside flag is up anyway for a free kick to Brentford. De Silva not very happy there because I think he felt he could have got a breakaway there, but the referee's pulled that back. Maxi is out. We don't know if it's an injury or whether it's an illness. We haven't had it 100% confirmed from Newcastle yet, so I ain't sure, guys. Yeah, some streams are ahead, some aren't. So, it's just the way it is. But hopefully the spoilers can get lost. Now, here's a chance for Brentford. Good defending by Sven Botman. Brilliant defending by the big man there. Or it was an opportunity again for Brentford. It's with Schär now. He plays it up to Bruno. Bruno looking forward, gives it to the right to Sean Longstaff. Longstaff goes down the line to Murphy, but unfortunately the ball's gone out of play. And, yeah, throw into Brentford. Not really. Apparently, it's Billy saying it's a minor hamstring injury for Maxi. So, unfortunately, that's a real pain. Eddie confirmed a slight hamstring strain. So, there you go. That is confirmed from the manager. Well, Newcastle have got the throw here. I'm not sure how that was given to Newcastle, but it is. Here's Trippier. Just back now to Fabian Schär. He has a look. He's got Botman in support. He doesn't use him. He turns, goes inside this time to Bruno. Bruno, a little bit of space. He's got Burn outside of him. Uses Dan Burn, but Bruno's kicked the ball a little bit too hard there. And Burn has won a throw in, I think. No, the referee says play on. And Brentford take advantage of that. Sloppy play from Dan Burn again. He's tried that little cut inside to beat the player, and it didn't work. And that's a foul by Joe Linton, and that's going to be a free kick to Brentford. Again, sloppy play from Dan Burn, guys, causing us a problem there. The ball was on the line. He tries that little skip inside. It didn't work. And, well, Joe Linton clearly didn't make any contact with him there. That's a dive. There's no contact made at all. He's gone down, and Hickey's won a free kick there. And to be honest, that was never a free kick in a million years. But a very good opportunity this for Brentford again. Coming up 6.5 minutes gone in the game, still goalless. No real attempt on goal at all from either side at the moment. But that, again, worrying from Dan Burn. He tries that little skip inside, and he's forced us into, defending this free kick. Very, very sloppy play. It's got to be better than that. In comes the free kick to the back post, and I think Joe Linton just got a little flick on it. And that's another corner for Brentford. So they've started the stronger side, Brentford. There's no doubt about that. We haven't had any attacks yet. Brentford have really had all the pressure. Joe Linton just flicked it away there, just making sure. Safer rather than sorry. I'd rather he do that than leave it. And then a Brentford player creep around the back post and score. So he did the right thing for me there. But again, very congested in that penalty box. Brentford's players are all clumped together. And then as soon as they go to take the kick, then obviously they spread out a little bit. So it's a good move. Near post, headed away by Bruno, and played out to the left-hand side again. Charlotte brings it, clips it in again. It's a good ball in. There's the header. What a save by Nick Pope. But Ivan Toney tucks it home. And Ivan Toney is there again to score against Newcastle United. He's completely unmarked. And Toney lofts it into the roof of the net in the 8th minute. Brentford go in front. And that is not a great start. Nick Pope diving off to his left. He made a great save. He stretched out, but he couldn't get enough purchase on it to get it away from Ivan Toney. And the Brentford striker yet again haunts Newcastle. Oh, he might be offside here. We might get away with this one. He's possibly offside. I think they'll have a look at it. When the original header came in, I think from Janssen, it was a brilliant save by Nick Pope to his left. Tucked away by Ivan Toney. Now, I'm not sure if they'll have a look at this one. Just when I saw that initial replay, I thought maybe Toney's just slightly offside there. I mean, it was a simple finish, to be honest. Very simple finish. But I'm not seeing live pictures here, so I don't know whether it's gone to VAR or not. I guess we'll see in a minute. Yeah, it has gone to VAR. They are checking offside. I think we might get away with this, guys. I think he is just offside. It'll be interesting when the lines are drawn. But when that initial header came in from Janssen, I'm pretty sure that Toney was just slightly... Yeah, he's offside. He is offside. He's definitely offside. There is no doubt about that. I mean, if that's given as onside, then I'm claiming a conspiracy. He's definitely offside. No spoilers, please remember. He's definitely offside. I mean, the lines haven't come across yet, but for me, he's offside. And indeed he is. It's not going to count, guys. He's offside. Newcastle have got away with that one. But Brentford have definitely made the better start. We've got away with that. So the goal won't stand. And the Newcastle fans celebrate. But, I wouldn't be celebrating like that. We've had a very iffy start in this first 10 minutes. But again, why did that take so long? It's ridiculous. He's offside. Get on with it. You know what I mean? Just get on with the game. Pointless bit of, again, VAR taking so long to make a decision that was blatantly obvious. I saw it when I first saw the replay. Willock tries a little back heel. We just can't get in the game here, guys. Unfortunately, Brentford coming at us again. Tony, that's a lovely back heel. De Silva now. De Silva tries to play Tony back in. Dan Burn is just playing around with the ball, but I think Tony's been given his offside as the flag goes up. He's not amused. Twice now. Twice now, that is offside for Ivan Tony. He won't be amused with that. But he is. He's offside. It's very clear there that he's offside. But Dan Burn hanging around with the ball in the box there. Heart and mouth stuff. Hey, long ball from Newcastle. We need to get our foot on the ball here and start playing a bit of football. Murphy now to Trippier. Trippier plays it down the line to Murphy. Murphy now cuts inside to Isak. Isak, a lovely ball to Longstaff on the right now. Longstaff's got an overlap from Trippier. Kieran Trippier's ball into the box isn't great. It's cleared by the first man. And Brentford get that away. The first bit of attacking prowess from Newcastle, but we run it out of play and a throw for Brentford deep in their half. First time we've really had an attack at them there. And now they're coming at us again. Quick throw in. They're causing us some problems early doors, Brentford. I didn't expect them to come out as quick as they have, but they have. In it comes again. Good block. And that's another corner to Brentford. Botman defending brilliantly there. Guys, please don't put any spoilers in. Why? There's no point. You're just going to get chucked off. So just don't. It's pathetic. Many people are watching this because they don't have access to the game, so they'd rather listen to the commentary. So please respect that, or you're gone. Simple as. Honestly, it's ridiculous. It's common courtesy to everybody else watching. Anyway, Brentford have a corner here. Again, congested, but Brentford, most of their players on the edge of the box, they take it short. Now it comes in to the 6-yard area. Players falling all over about. It's rolled away by Botman. And then it's played all the way back to Rea, who is on the halfway line at the minute for Brentford. He clips the ball forward. Nice ball out to the right-hand side. There is, I'm not sure where Dan Burn's gone. Cross comes in. Header over the bar. And again, Janssen towering above our back line there to head it. And again, unbelievable. I mean, they're just not getting... It's times like this that you worry because balls into the box normally we cope with very well. But that's another header won by Janssen, and he's causing us all sorts of trouble. Really dangerous. Really dangerous. Anyway, we've got 1,300 watching so far, guys. Thank you so much to everybody. Please do hit the like button and, of course, the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. We want to get as many subscribers as we can, heading towards 19,000 now. Ball bouncing around in midfield, a bit of head tennis going on. Joe Linton seemed to be caught late there, but Isak does really well. He's got 2 Brentford players to deal with, though. And it's back with Rea now in the Brentford goal. He launches one out to the left-hand side. Trippier, though, wins the header. Good header by Trippier. Longstaff down for Murphy now. Murphy, little bit of time on the ball. Flicks it wide to Trippier. Trippier, he's going to have to go back here, but there's a Brentford player down, Janssen. And I think Trippier's kicked the ball out of play. Janssen's holding his right knee and looks in a bit of distress here. So there you are. But we've got to get a foothold on this game. We haven't done. There's nearly 15 minutes gone in the game. We haven't got that foothold that we would want. We haven't had that good start that we want. Again, like West Ham, they hit the post, all right, an own goal. It would have been. But we are struggling again. And, we've conceded again early doors. Luckily for us, it's offside and it remains 0-0. But I don't think Janssen's going to be able to continue in this game, which would be a massive bonus to us, given how he's performed in aerial duels. He went in for a tackle with Joe Linton. It was him. It was Janssen that was actually late. But I think he's overextended his knee. And that may be the end of the game for Janssen. And if so, that's a massive bonus for us because he's won some headers. I'm not sure what's happening here. He's still down. He's sitting up. He's took his shin pad off. I think he's going to have to come off here. Which, as I say, is going to be a massive bonus for us. He's still down. Yeah, they're getting a substitute ready. That is huge for us because Jansen's caused us all sorts of problems in the air the first 15 minutes of this game. And now he's got to come off. Julie J says, I can't believe Burn started. Well, he hasn't started great, if I'm openly honest. As long as we survive this, they haven't scored. I think they'll tire. We slow out of the blocks again. Yeah. I mean, look, slow out the blocks. I'd expect us to be better than we have been, to be honest. It's a real pain in the arse when we start so slow. But look, we know what we're capable of. And as long as we're still 0-0, we haven't, all right, that goal's disallowed. Let's just get our heads around it and get back on with it. So Jansen's off. And that is a big, big disappointment for the big man. But a big plus for us, given how he's performed in the air. And Brentford are now just knocking the ball all the way back to Nick Pope to give us the ball back. Good bit of gamesmanship there. And the ball is now with Botman. Botman, again, just taking his time, deciding where he's going to go with it. Dan Burn now. Burn takes his time, rolls it up to the left-hand side with Joe Linton. Joe Linton holds his man off. Nice little ball into Joe Willock. Nice stuff. Willock now onto Murphy. Lovely little flick. Longstaff onto Trippier. That's better from Newcastle United. Looks a nice one-touch football. Here's Joe Willock. He's got Bruno inside, but goes for Trippier again. Trippier floats one over towards Murphy. Murphy's back heel to Longstaff. He did well to keep that in. Longstaff wins a throw-in for Newcastle. Good stuff, that. Nice bit of passing. Nice break. Great play by Joe Linton initially to hold the ball up and play it out to Willock, and it set the pace away. Malcolm says, do we look leggy? Not really. It's similar to West Ham, where we just giving the ball away. Here's Willock. Lays it to Longstaff now. Longstaff across to Dan Burn. Dan Burn, head up. It's a poor pass again, and the move breaks down, but Joe Linton brilliantly wins it back. Joe Linton now into Bruno. Bruno back to Big Joe. Joe Linton takes his man on. Outside to Dan Burn. Burn now cuts back inside. Looking for help. Gets it from Sven Botman. Botman goes back to Dan Burn. A bit of time on the ball for Newcastle here. Burn. He goes back to Botman again. Botman swings one way out to the right-hand side to Kieran Trippier. Slightly off target with the pass. Trippier had to come back a little bit. Then goes long, looking for the run of Alexander Isak. Isak nods it down, but there's nobody running onto it. And Brentford hook the ball clear. And Trippier will let that ball roll out for a throw-in. This is better from Newcastle in the last couple of minutes. Holding on to the ball a bit better, passing it around a bit nicer as well. Fabian Schär rolls it up to Trippier now. Trippier again, just having a look for somebody to make a run. Finds Jacob Murphy. Murphy back to Trippier. Inside to Longstaff. Outside to Murphy. This is lovely one-touch football by Newcastle here. This is what we want to see because it does tire teams out. If we're knocking it around like this, very quickly, one-touch football, it's good stuff. It's back with Fabian Schär now in his own half, close to the halfway line. And Trippier will let that roll out for another throw-in. The throw initially from Newcastle put him under a bit of pressure there. But now we have a throw-in. It's just down for Longstaff. Longstaff flicks it back now to Fabian Schär. Schär inside to Bruno. Bruno then goes to Longstaff again. Longstaff turns, has to go back to Schär. Schär then plays it long. Isak, lovely touch from Isak. And now it's Murphy. Murphy loops one over to the left-hand side where Joe Willock is waiting for the ball. Nice win by Isak, by the way, to get that attack rolling. Inside to Bruno. Bruno back now to Sven Botman. Botman has options on the right-hand side, but goes short to Bruno. Bruno again, just taking his time. Sees Willock on the left, gives him it. Joe Willock now for Newcastle United. Cuts back inside. Again, Bruno becomes available. Newcastle moving the ball around quite nicely here. Longstaff now out to Trippier. Trippier looking for the run of Longstaff. It's a brilliant run, but he just didn't fall to him to hit it. He did then try a shot, but it was blocked. But lovely move again from Newcastle. Trippier again. Ball in, just too high for Joe Linton. Comes down to Dan Burn now. Burn plays it. It's an awful pass to Isak. Really awful, but Isak's won it back for Newcastle. And then he's dragged backwards. And Newcastle win a corner. Isak's furious that he was pulled back there, but brilliantly won the ball back because it was a really poor pass by Dan Burn again. And he managed to beat Hickey to the ball. Good shoulder charge initially by Isak to win the ball back from Hickey. Brentford wanted a free kick there. It wasn't given. And then Hickey's arms are all over Isak, pulling him back. But Isak uses his strength and wins a corner. Our first one of the game. Can we make this count? 20 minutes gone at the community stadium. 0-0. In comes the corner. It's right to the back post. And Sean Longstaff is appealing. Well, I think he's appealing for another corner, which we get. The referee finally decides to give a corner. I thought initially they were appealing for handball, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. That was a really good corner, though, right to the back post. It caused all sorts of trouble for Brentford. But hopefully we've got through the storm and we've calmed things down a little bit here and we've got ourselves going. Some really nice passing in the last 5 minutes or so for Newcastle. Trippier with a corner again. It's deep. It's into the 6-yard box. Shea just can't get his head to it. It comes to Joe Linton. Joe Linton knocks it back to Jacob Murphy. Murphy, the last man, rolls it to the left to Willock. Willock now. Plenty options to the right, but he goes left to Joe Linton, who crosses the ball into the back post, headed away. Longstaff seemed to take a bang in the face there, but Dan Burn keeps it in. This is better from Newcastle. Much better. Bruno again. Bruno skips past his man. He's got Dan Burn on the left. I think Bruno was a little apprehensive because he knows Dan Burn is on the wrong foot. Trippier with a wonderful ball to the back post. Shea's gone down, claiming a penalty. And the referee says no, and then a clash between Joe Linton and De Silva, and a free kick is given to Brentford. Fabian Shea is furious. He feels that he got hauled to the ground there as the ball came in from Trippier. But the referee has not held it back for VAR. That would be interesting to see. I haven't seen a replay of that, but Fabian Shea was pretty convinced he was thrown to the floor. I'm seeing it again here. Not for me. I think he had his eye on the ball. He certainly wasn't trying to trip Fabian Shea up there. But unfortunately, no penalty. And free kick Brentford. Rea launches it towards the Newcastle penalty area. Botman underneath this. Gets a good head on it. Longstaff out to Trippier. Trippier into Murphy. This is much better from Newcastle in the last 5-6 minutes. Trippier hits a long ball, but he was looking for Longstaff to make the run. But unfortunately, Sean wasn't on the same wavelength. And Rea clears the ball under pressure from Isak. Well, that's come to Dan Burn. He chests it down, rolls a little ball into Willock. That's better from Dan Burn. Willock now. 3 attempts to 1 in favour of Brentford early doors. But Newcastle United have been well on top in the last few minutes of this game, knocking it around and putting pressure on Brentford really well. It's out to the right-hand side now. Murphy has a look, finds Trippier. Trippier inside to Longstaff. Longstaff to Bruno. Bruno will go again. Murphy's got Trippier in support, lays it back to him. Again, just knocking it around Newcastle United, getting a feel for it. Share with a lovely little dummy and then sends it across to Burn. Burn inside to Willock. Willock held it up really well, was pulled back, I think, there. Nothing from the referee. Joe Linton has the ball. Unless the ref just played play on there. Joe Linton rolls it back to Fabian Shea now inside the centre circle. Shea goes to the right to Kieran Trippier, who has seen a lot of the ball. Trippier makes way, plays it in, plays a hard ball in, but it was intercepted well. And Brentford now get the ball back. Trippier, though, is in to win it back and wins the throw-in for Newcastle. We are dominating the game now in the last 10 minutes. There's no doubt about that. But we haven't had any attempts of any substantial efforts on goal at the minute. As Longstaff loses the ball, Brentford win it back. Newcastle, though, quick to get on top. Ivan Toney, De Silva trying to get in there, but it was a very good tackle again. Joe Linton plays it short to Willock. Nice play by Joe Linton, kept his cool there. Willock then goes out to Fabian Shea on the right. Much better football from Newcastle United. Trippier now definitely calmed the storm. Isak takes a very, very heavy touch and loses it. Ivan Toney, nice flick on now. De Silva, this is an opportunity for Brentford. De Silva runs at Botman, plays it out to the left to Schade. Schade now, can he get a cross in? He can't, he's had to play it back. This is an opportunity for Brentford. Shot comes in, it's blocked by Fabian Shea. Newcastle now having to defend all of a sudden. Blocked again by Trippier, and that's going to be a Brentford throw in. End-to-end stuff now all of a sudden at the community stadium. But they haven't been able to make that count there, Brentford. Good blocking again from the Newcastle centre-backs. Not letting Brentford get into the penalty area. They were having to take long shots. And eventually it's been deflected out for a throw into Brentford. Coming up to 25 minutes gone in the game. Still goalless. Only one highlight really so far was that Ivan Toney had a goal disallowed for offside. from a very good header from Janssen. Brilliantly saved by Nick Pope. But this is going to be a long throw for Brentford here. Just trying to catch the breath as it's been a pretty fast-paced long throw into the 6-yard box. Again, it's flicked on and ends up in the arms of His Holiness Nick Pope. And he quickly launches the ball forward towards Alexander Isak. Isak, it was well controlled. Isak claims a handball. He's not going to get that. You can see what Nick Pope's thought was, though, to launch it long there. But again, good pressing from Joe Linton on the near side here. Brentford knocking it around, trying to create some space. But Newcastle, again, hard in. But that's a deflection which has fallen Brentford's way. And they attack again now. Looking to Sharda on the left-hand side. But Trippier's going to intercept that ball. Just lets it roll under his legs. Cher plays a hard ball out to Longstaff. And Longstaff is fouled. Brentford not very happy. But it is a free kick. Well, you know, this game has been very strange so far in the first half. Brentford dominating, then we dominate, and now Brentford is starting to push again. It's a very interesting game of football. Yeah, Longstaff dragged back there. There's no doubt about that. Definitely a free kick. Fabian Cher will take the free kick for Newcastle. Please do not ask for any streams. We cannot give you any. We are not getting into trouble. Please do hit that like button, guys. Nearly 1,500 watching, which is fantastic. Please hit that like button. And, of course, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. And you can donate to the channel by hitting the $sign at the bottom of the live comments. That way you are guaranteed your comment will be read out. Hickey now for Brentford. It's a good block. Again by Sean Longstaff, he's all over the place in the middle. But the sun getting in Cher's eyes there. And this is a brilliant chance now for Sharda. He's got into the box. Oh, that's going to be a penalty. I have no doubt about it. Botman went in 3 miles too late. You could see he was committed to the tackle. And he was never, ever going to get there. And Brentford have a penalty. And, of course, we know he was going to take that. Botman isn't even complaining at the referee. He knows. He was way late. And unfortunately for Newcastle United, it's a penalty to Brentford. Jesus Christ. I mean, look, Botman had to make a decision, if I'm honest. He had to make a decision to go for the ball. Fabian Cher lost the ball in the sun. Sharda skipped round and took a heavy touch. Botman gambled and, well, he's nowhere near the ball. Totally cleans out Sharda and it's a penalty. It's a clearer penalty as you're going to see. Botman, he made the decision to go for the ball. Sharda knew he'd just get there first, get a touch on the ball, and he knows that Botman has no option. He's going to take him out. He's yellow carded as well. It was poor play from Sven Botman. He wasn't. I could see what he was thinking because Sharda took a heavy touch. A really bad heavy touch, but he was always going to get to the ball first. Yeah. Well, Newcastle doing a bit. I think Brentford are doing a little bit of, yeah. It's going to be Ivan Toney. Of course it's going to be Ivan Toney. So big opportunity for Brentford here to take the lead just before the half-hour mark, and it's a pain in the arse because, I mean, I don't know where, Billy's asking where Dan Burn was. I have no idea where Dan Burn was there. I don't understand why Cher was so far across because there was no left back there. Anyway, it's going to be Ivan Toney. And it's saved by Nick Pope. Glenn, stop putting spoilers in, please, or you'll be chucked out. I know you remember, but none of that, please. Brilliant save by Nick Pope. It was a terrible penalty by Toney. Again, just a slight little step up. The one step, and it was an awful penalty. And Nick Pope says, thank you very much. And we've got away with yet another one. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Glenn, please, no more of that, mate. I know you remember, but it still doesn't matter. There's no need to put spoilers in. Wait till I've commentated on it, and then you can say. Thank you. Botman now. Back to Fabian Cher. That's 2 we've got away with in this first half. It was an absolutely atrocious penalty from Ivan Toney, I have to say. Absolutely shocking. But we've got away with 2 here in the first half. Toney offside, of course, and now we missed penalty. Crazy. Dan Burn now for Newcastle. I'm still not sure where the hell he was actually for that incident. Cher just lost the ball in the sun. Couldn't see where the ball was, and of course, but I have no idea. I have no idea where Dan Burn was. He wasn't even in the picture. Botman now to Cher. Cher goes out wide to Trippier. The thing for me is we were getting on top of the game. We were playing some lovely stuff, but Trippier's just give it straight back to Brentford. Again, the passing we've just gone off again. A good 10-minute spell like we did at West Ham, and then we've gone off the boil. Trippier's long header forward is chased down by Alexander Isak. It's going to go back to Rhea in the goal. Plenty time for Rhea just to launch the ball forward again for Brentford. Botman is under it. But it goes straight to Brentford again. And they play it out the right-hand side now to Hickey. Hickey just cuts back inside. Brentford seeing a lot of the ball now in the midfield. Jensen has certainly seen a lot of the ball in the midfield for Brentford and doing well. And the cross comes in again. Cher heads it away. It lands for Murphy. Murphy, nice little turn inside to Joe Linton now. Sorry, Bruno, but he's languishing on the ball there and he's lost it again. And Brentford start yet another attack to Silva. Jensen, he goes out to the left-hand side for Brentford. And again, we're just giving the ball away sloppily. It really is. Really sloppy stuff from the Toon. Hickey now for Brentford is tripped up by Joe Linton. Joe Linton's got to be careful here because he's making a few numerous fouls so far in the first half hour. He could be booked for too many fouls, but referee's keeping his card in his pocket. The only one booked was Botman at the penalty, which I have to say we completely got away with. It was awful. Joe Linton on the ball again. Bruno now with a bit of time on the ball to pick out a pass. He lofts one towards Isak, and Isak is going to get there on the left-hand side. Isak, right on the line, does well. He's still in possession of the ball. Alexander Isak wants to have a run at the defender. He's done brilliantly, and, he's still got the ball. How on earth did he come away with that? Eventually, Brentford win it back and clear it. Wonderful play. Botman gets a good header to Trippier. Trippier goes all the way back to Nick Pope. We rebuild again. Strange game this so far, but we haven't had any real attempts on goal yet, the away side. Down the line for Jacob Murphy now. Murphy turns. Lovely little back heel to Sean Longstaff, but Longstaff doesn't have the strength, and Brentford get the ball back. Nice bit of play there by Jacob Murphy. Working hard on that right-hand side there to try and win the ball back. Now Longstaff closing down Rhea. Rhea locks the ball long again, but it just comes to Fabian Cher. Trippier inside to Bruno, who's got a bit of space now midway through the Brentford half. Is taken down. Free kick Newcastle. Predator, don't listen to this. Don't listen to the commentating on the stream. Listen to me. Just turn the sound off. Shada making a foul there on Bruno, and we've got a free kick in a very, very, very good position here. If we can get this right, it's midway through the Brentford half, but it's quite central, so it's going to have to be a very, very good free kick. Hopefully see something that we've been working on in training that actually comes off for us for once. Trippier just eyeing up where he's going to put this ball here. Clearing a bit of dead grass around him just to make sure he gets a good purchase on the ball. Vital that we stay on side. In it comes. Trippier's ball in. Looking for Botman at the back post. He just short of Botman. Long ball high in the air. Murphy brings it down brilliantly. Jacob Murphy into Bruno. Bruno back to Murphy. Lovely bit of play by Jacob Murphy there to keep a hold of the ball. He's having a run down the left-hand side now. Skipping inside. Four Brentford players had to come over to him. And eventually the home side win the ball back. And they try and play it out. Murphy again trying to close the angle down to get the clearance away. Eventually they do. And it's all the way up. Botman fighting with Tony to win the ball. Botman comes out on top. That's better from the big man. Longstaff now. Looking for that through ball. But he's only got Trippier in support. Back to Joe Linton now. Joe Linton turns. Finds Dan Burn on the left-hand side. Burn will go again across to Joe Willock. Sorry, it's Murphy again. He goes inside to Bruno. Bruno now turns. Sees the option of Trippier on the right. Trippier does well to keep that from going out there. It was just slightly overhit by Bruno. But a ball in by Bruno almost sees Joe Linton through, and Brentford clear it away again. Again, good football by Newcastle United, almost creating an opportunity for for Joe Linton to get in there. I want to see more from Willock. He's been very, very quiet in this first half. Bruno outside now to Sean Longstaff. Goes again to Trippier. Trippier inside again to Bruno. Nice play by Newcastle. Down the line for Longstaff, but he has not got the pace to get there. And he pushes and gives away a free kick. Henry at left back there, just nice and calm, just held himself up and knew that Longstaff was going to try and get the ball. But Longstaff certainly didn't have the pace. As we just see the penalty again, it was awful from Tony. It was just like a back pass. And Nick Pope read it all the way. But credit to Nick Pope, he went the right way. And, you've got to give the goalkeeper credit as well for keeping the ball out, even though it was a terrible penalty. There's no way Ivan Toney will be happy with that, but we are. That's a certainty. Long ball by Cher, high in the air. Isak gives chase. He's had nothing to feed on in this first half, Alexander Isak, and now there's a clash of players, clash of heads. Isak's gone down holding his face, I think because he gave a bad foul away there, if I'm openly honest, but both players are down. I think the Brentford player is winded. Isak's holding the left-hand side of his face. Just seeing this again. Yeah, I'm not sure. Isak went in as the Brentford player was jumping for the ball. And that's what caused the collision. I don't think Isak is badly hurt, to be honest. It's Pinnock who's down for Brentford. But I think he's just winded. He felt very funny. Ron says we need half time. I do agree with that. I think there's been stages in this game where we've been good, but also stages in the game where we've been absolutely rank. And unfortunately, most of it has been rank. But when we do get it down and play it around, we are playing around very, very well. We're knocking it around nicely. We're doing okay. But then some of the passing is just awful. But I haven't seen anything, absolutely anything from Joe Willock in this first half, which is a surprise given how well Willock's been playing. Isak is still down. Pinnock's back on his feet. Callum Wilson is warming up. He'll be disappointed, of course, Callum, not to get a start today after getting 2 goals against West Ham. But I think Isak was always going to come back in today. But this needs another good team talk in the dressing room because we just look a little bit fragile. I think Eddie will understand that. We're not really at our best at the minute. Again, I mean, saying we're not at our best, some of the passing has been brilliant. Some of the one-touch passing, the movement's been good. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to get round Brentford. We haven't had any decent chances at rear. He hasn't had a save to make. So that needs to improve in the second half dramatically. But we've still got plenty time to half-time, guys. We've got, 7 minutes left. There's plenty time to get a goal. If we can get the first goal in this game, I think that'll settle us right down. We have a throw-in midway through our own half here, which Trippier is going to take. He's just telling everybody to calm down. I think we are missing Maxi a bit. We're missing his drive and runs because it does set us up. Because he gets the ball and nobody knows if he's going inside, outside. So we are missing him today. Here's Bruno right in the centre circle. Just crosses over the line now. Just dinks it back to Fabian Cher. Cher goes outside to Trippier. Trippier goes back to Fabian Cher. Cher taking his time. Whips it across to Botman. Botman then goes in turn out to Dan Burn on the left. Burn. Again, Longstaff's there. Just played to him. Bruno now. 3 Brentford players around him, but he manages to get the ball to Fabian Cher. Cher to Trippier. Trippier again looking for an out. Gets it from Joe Linton. Joe Linton back to Bruno. Bruno then a lovely crossfield ball to Dan Burn. Burn plays it out wide to Joe Willock, who needs to get himself into the game here. We haven't seen enough of him so far. Bruno now. Again, options to Bruno's right. Trippier. Bruno just floats it over right onto the foot of Trippier. Trippier then hammers in a ball to Isak. Back to Bruno. Bruno's header isn't good enough. Henry clears. And now it's whipped over the top. Schade and Botman going at it again. Schade gets the ball. Botman's got to be careful here and does. And it's going for a Brentford corner. That was better from Sven Botman. Just stood him up and said, right, try and get round me. And he couldn't. But again, you know, that ball is just, it was a weak header from Bruno, giving the ball away again. And we put ourselves in trouble. And the referee's going to have a word with Isak here. I think the referee's a little bit concerned of concussion. I didn't see Isak take a big blow to the head, though. Strange one. Anyway, Jensen's going to take this for Brentford. Yet another corner. We've dealt with them okay so far, apart from obviously when Janssen had the header and an offside was given against Ivan Toney. Lots of pushing and shoving going on in the box again. The referee having a quick word with the bunch of players. They're all bunched again very, very tightly together in that box. It's clever from Brentford because they don't know who to mark at the minute. There's literally 6 Brentford players against 4 Newcastle. In it comes near post, and it's Brentford is screaming for a penalty again. I'm not sure that was a penalty anywhere near a penalty. Brentford are furious. It's Henry that's gone down. Tony's kicking off, wanting another penalty. Well, he would, wouldn't he, given now his first one was god-awful. I think VAR are going to look at it, though. That's not a penalty. Good grief. Isak's just going to clear the ball. He doesn't even know Henry's there. I mean, Henry puts his face right down, so they're trying to claim a high boot. It can't be a high boot. It simply can't be a high boot. They are still looking at it. The player ducks down. Come on. It is going to VAR, guys. For me, that's nowhere near a penalty in a million years. Not in a million years. Yeah, this cannot be given. No way. Henry's got his head right down. I'm still not sure. He didn't even collide with Henry's face, so there's no way a high boot can be called there. All Isak's going to do is clear the ball. But they're still looking at it. I mean, Henry is at boot height. Come on. This is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but Bruno got away with kicking Shah in the face last week. How can this be a penalty? And still we wait, guys. Still we wait. This is ridiculous, man. You can't give a penalty for that. Oh, this is ridiculous, man. How many minutes have we been going on here? If this cannot be given as if you're not sure, don't give it. He's going to the way. He's going to the screen. This is not clear and obvious, man. Oh, these referees, man. Jesus Christ. This is just bullshit. How can this be a penalty and that one last week against Fabian Schär not a penalty? Bull rot. He's given a penalty. Absolutely ridiculous. That is a shocking decision. Absolutely shocking. Hey, honestly, that is the biggest bullshit penalty I've ever seen in my life. That is ridiculous. Nowhere near clear and obvious penalty there, guys. Nowhere freaking near. Newcastle are furious. Rightly so. Rightly so. Absolutely ridiculous decision to give that as a penalty. We get nothing last week for that ridiculous high boot by the goofy one. Yet now this is given as a penalty. It's a ridiculous decision. Honestly, these officials are absolutely shocking. The standard of refereeing in this country is so bad. So bad. No way in hell was that a penalty. It's going to be Ivan Toney yet again, and I bet your bottom dollar he doesn't side foot this with no pace on it again. Honestly, ridiculous decision. How many times are we going to be on the end of these ridiculous decisions? Awful. Toney steps up and scores. Pope went the right way, but it was above his arm this time. And Gordon Bennett, how long did we wait for that VAR? Absolute bullshit. It's 1-0 to Brentford. But hey, my God. I mean, what's the point? I mean, I'm sitting here saying, going, what is the frigging point? These referees are just so bad. Henry dips his head. All Isak's doing is trying to volley the ball away, and it's given us a penalty. Disgrace. Absolute disgrace. But in fairness, you know, Brentford have had the better of the first half, so you could say that they deserve to be in front, but not that way. Not that way. That was absolute bollocks. Absolute bollocks. Bruno fouled again. He's going off it at the referee. There's been no yellow cards at all to the Brentford players. Longstaff's going ballistic wanting something from the referee because there's been so many fouls in this game and he hasn't given one Brentford player a yellow card. Exactly. Chris Lama saying the foot was at hip height, so it can't be high feet. It's ridiculous, man. Longstaff has the ball into Joe Linton now. Joe Linton spins. Can't quite find Isak. Headed in back. Now Murphy on the right-hand side. Jacob Murphy looks to try and get the ball in. Needs support. Murphy does get a ball in. It's a high looping header. It's played back and cleared by Brentford. But of course, the linesman says the ball went out. Honestly, fed up with this shit. Just when things are going well for Newcastle, you can guarantee that some bullshit will happen in the game. And it's happened today. Because they cannot hack Newcastle United being up where they are. Any opportunity these fuckers get, and they'll bury us, I'm telling you. Disgraceful decision. How can you make a VAR go on for 6 minutes? 6 minutes to try and give a penalty. If you need to take 6 minutes, it's clearly not a fucking penalty. It's unbelievable bullshit refereeing. But listen, to be fair, we need to be better as well. We need to be a lot better. It's half-time, guys. It's half-time, and we are, well, we're a goal down. Whatever you think, we haven't been at the races, to be fair. We've never tested Rhea in the first 45. We've been very, very poor. Don't tell me to calm down, Jeff, because I'm not going to calm down when I see blatant bullshit refereeing. It is absolutely atrocious refereeing. So don't say calm down. If you're a Newcastle fan, you're not going to be happy that that's given against you, are you? I mean, calm down. Jesus Christ. Terrible refereeing. Be very interesting to see what Billy's got to say. Also going to send the link to Alex to see if Alex is available to pop on. Oh, dear. Foreman at that. Absolutely foreman. Alex, I've sent you the link, matey, so get yourself on. I mean, what do you say? What do you say about that? Just absolute bull rot. I mean, why? Where was the added time as well? I mean, he had 3 minutes on. It took 6 minutes to decide the penalty. Passion granted, Paul, but on the balance of play, Brentford have been better. Yes, they have. I've said that. I'm not denying that for a second. Brentford have been better than us today. But when you see decisions like that, though, I mean, it's criminal. Criminal. You know, if a player dips his head, how can that be a penalty? I mean, you know, everything's wrong about the refereeing in this country. You know, we had Keith Hackett on, you know, not long ago. And, you know, Keith was saying about the standard of officiating. It's just so bad. When they have to take that long to give a penalty, surely you go with what's, you know, with Foreman. Anyway, we've got Alex and Billy with us. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Well, Billy, we'll start with you. I mean, thoughts on that?
Not great. Hasn't been great. We haven't looked very solid in defence at all. We're giving them far too much, and aided and abetted by some pretty poor officialing. This just looks like at the minute it's not really one of our days, is it?
You know, we just don't look like we're at the races at the minute. You know, granted an awful penalty decision, but Alex, we're not there. We're just not at the races today. No saves for Ria.
I mean, we're probably. I think 1-0 to Brentford is currently a fair score. It's just frustrating that the goals come from a decision that was nonsense. If it had come from one of the legitimate chances, then it would have been easier to stomach. It's the fact that wasn't a penalty. We've had that against us, on Fabian Schär 3 or 4 times in the last month, and we don't get those. But we need to play a lot better.
How is that a penalty? How is that a penalty? Yet Schär getting kicked in the face off Fernandes last week. Look how high Fernandes's boot was.
I mean, it's even irrelevant. It's irrelevant whether it is or isn't a penalty at that point. It's because it took them so long to ascertain what it was. Means it's not clear and obvious. Means leave it, crack on, regardless of what actually it is or isn't. If they can't figure it out, it's taken so long. Play on. Like that's as it's designed. I think we're missing Maxi massively. I'm surprised. Hugely. I didn't think we would, but we are hugely missing him. We've got because Willock, despite Willock's amazing driving runs and technical ability, I think it's clear that when it works better when space is made for him. Nobody's making space for anybody, and that's normally Maxi. So I could see Gordon definitely coming on. We just need somebody to make a bit more space. Even Isak's struggling, to be fair.
I mean, with the penalty, with the penalty itself, Cavan has got a perfect view of it. He's got a better view than what VAR has actually got. He's standing, watched it. No one in his way. He's 10 yards away on the edge of the area. Sees it all. Doesn't give a penalty. It's ridiculous. It's corruption in live action. It's what it is.
Roadblock, thank you for your £2 super chat. He says, conspiracy beyond doubt, must get our fingers out. And $4.99 for Deep into Snow. That's what we get for lack of rotation. Players look shattered. Were you surprised that, I mean, Murphy's been quiet as well. He's done some decent things, but surely this is screaming out for Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, you think so?
We need some kind of pace and cutting edge. We've got none of it so far. So, yeah, you'd say so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Billy, can you just take over 2 minutes? I just need to pop the toilet.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks,
let's go through some comments. Geordie Lad says I can give up with the Premier League referees. Yeah, it was odd, wasn't it, Alex? I mean, the whole thing, he's standing there watching it all, Kavanagh. He's got the perfect view of it all. Doesn't see a need to give a penalty. And yet the cameras who haven't got as good a view, they've got it all in slow motion. They've got it from behind the goal where you don't see any, you don't see the offence that Kavanagh could see if there was one. And call them to the screen. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Whether it is or isn't is irrelevant. The fact that it's taken him so long means no. But is it clear and obvious? If VAR are really, really struggling, it took them 8, 9, 10 replays in slow motion before they suggested to go and look at it on the screen. Which if they're struggling to offer a recommendation, then play on. That's the referee's been a bit strange. We can't complain about the first penalty. Botman unfortunately just clattered him. He tried to be aggressive and get to the ball first, missed it. I think the offside. I think we were lucky. I don't think he was offside because we did anything right. I think we got a massive let off. I think it was just very lucky that he was offside. And like I said, I think Brentford deserved to be 1-0 up. It's just a shame that the one has come from something that wasn't legitimate. But yeah, it is what it is. We need to pull our socks up, really.
The first pen, where was Dan Burn? What was Fabian Schär having to cover at left back? Where was Dan Burn? He wasn't even in the picture.
Well, I think Dan Burn and Murphy are two substitutions I would make at half time. Although Murphy's been good in recent games, these are players that can perform above their levels, but can't do it consistently. And I wouldn't expect them to, because they're not world-class players. They're not going to be playing Champions League for us. These are players that can be useful to the squad, but we can't rely on them all the time to be top draw, because they're not at that standard. That's not their fault. It's just, so we need other players to come in. And I know Anthony Gordon's young, but we need somebody, like we've just said, we need somebody to drive a bit more, be a bit quicker off the mark. Open a few spaces up for the other teammates, because Willock and Joe Linton and some of these other lads are struggling to drive into spaces or get anything going. We're putting some nice sequences together, but Brentford are quite well drilled.
And Sean Longstaff also looks leggy, isn't he? So that's not helping either, is it? We're short-numbered in midfield today, aren't we, for a change?
Well, I mean, this is ultimately down to fixture congestion. We shouldn't be having to play 3 fixtures in 6 days. I mean, we aren't a club that's got European commitments, and yet we're having to play 3 fixtures in 6 days. Normally, you expect this for a little bit in December. It's known for it, but this is a joke. It is a bit ridiculous, and it does favour obviously the teams with bigger squads with more depth of quality. But the rat race continues. It's the big 6. The whole narrative has been. I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracist because it's ridiculous, but the whole narrative in the last 48 hours has been Michael Oliver refereeing the Man United game, which has taken the shine off, or taken the light and the focus off of the fact that this has been refereed quite poorly so far.
By someone from Greater Manchester, incidentally.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Brentford deserved the first penalty, and that's it. I think, the offside, the referee's got nothing to do with the offside call. It was correct. It was offside, but he doesn't deserve praise for that. That's a linesman in the VAR. I don't know how that second penalty's gone through. A lot of calls are very strange as well, with there's a few times we pull a shirt and it doesn't get blown. There's a few times they pull a shirt and it doesn't get blown, and he's blown for certain things. It's very strange refereeing at the moment. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see a bit more football and a bit less sort of poor officiating. We don't want to be talking about the referee too much in the second half. We want it just to be football. But Brentford again have been very good. Have been very brave, very very brave. They deserve some credit for that. It's a combination of them playing well and us playing poor. It's not just all us, but I think definitely we could do with Target and Gordon. We just need a bit more at left back and a bit more going forward. I don't think the Willock Joe Linton left wing thing's quite working today either. There's nobody to drive and no speed.
No.
Even though Willock can be fast, it's more so when he gets up to pace, whereas Maxi can just straight away go very very fast. And we've not really got anybody else on the bench. I think this would be a good game for Elliot Anderson in my opinion. I think this is it'd be an interesting game for him to come on. I wouldn't mind seeing, but I don't think we necessarily need Wilson until later on. I'd like to see Gordon, Anderson, and possibly even Target on, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, it's definitely needs to make some colour changes.
Yeah, there's hell on social media. I mean, everybody's, even pundits are saying if it takes that long to make a decision for a penalty, it is not clear and obvious. Simple as that. Just get on with the game. Absolutely ridiculous. But listen, we need to be better. We absolutely need to be better. We've been rotten. We had a couple of good spells here and there where we've knocked the ball around well, but we haven't created anything. Absolutely nothing. Which is very unusual for us, because at least, sometimes when it's going like that, we are capable of creating some chances. but there's just nothing there.
We've got a couple on yellows as well. We've got a couple on yellows as well, which has got to be. Joe Linton got booked for that first tackle. It was a dive. He got booked for that.
Did he get booked? I didn't think he did.
I don't think he did.
It said on the screen he did, yeah.
Did he?
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he come up afterwards, Joe Linton with the yellow card next to his name. It was a blatant dive. It wasn't even a free kick, and he got booked for it. It was like the first.
Well, exactly. I mean,
no, he didn't get booked for it. Only Botman's got a yellow on my screen.
Did he? I saw it.
Because I was going to say he didn't make any contact with him. Oh, where do we go? I mean, does Eddie make any changes half time?
I think he has to. Honestly, there's too many players there underperforming, so he's got to bring some kind of spark on. Gordon's got to come on, in my opinion, and Alex has said the same. Where you put him on the left or the right, I don't know. I think you put him on the right, and I think Target's got to come with a burn, like Alex says. It's in the middle of the park, though. We need to get a grip in there somehow. We need to get Joe Linton more central, I think.
I was going to say a minute ago, the lads need to talk to each other a bit more. Bruno's been robbed from behind twice, and Longstaff has been robbed once. We need man-on shouts. I'm not always going to blame the player on the ball because it's impossible to. You've not got eyes in the back of your head. Scanning is, it's hard sometimes. You need your teammates to shout for you. It's not a big stadium. It's not that many fans in it. Somebody shout, man on. It's the first thing you learn in football. So that would have, meant we kept possession on 3 occasions, which would have meant we might have been able to do something with that and prevent some Brentford pressure. So it adds up. So, we need to communicate a bit more. We need to get a bit more pace on the pitch.
It's just been awful. Anyway, guys,
what else is noticeable before we go quickly is because Max isn't playing, Isak's got no support with him either. He's totally isolated. So we need to get someone up there with him as well.
Yeah, he hasn't got that. He hasn't got anybody to play the ball with. It's just he's just picking up on scraps at the minute, really. So there you go. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. I will let you go and watch the second half, and we'll see you full time.
See you in a bit. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. So there you go. That was Billy and Alex there. Hopefully, when they rejoin us at full time, things will be a very different story. But at the moment, it is Brentford 1, Newcastle 0, and we've been done by an absolutely awful VAR call. That doesn't forgive the performance, to be honest, of that first half. We're just simply not good enough. Very, very. I don't know. It's very unlike us. I think because we've played so well in recent games. I thought we'd come out a little bit faster and go for them rather than the other way around. I didn't expect Brentford to come at us the way they did, and I think that's took us by surprise when they were playing 5 at the back. I think it's we thought maybe that they'd sit back a little bit and just soak up the early pressure from us, but it's been quite the opposite. And Brentford will be very, very confident going into the second half. We're just about, Newcastle just come back on the pitch now. Callum Wilson is coming on. Samir, thank you very much for your 1999 Saudi Arabian Riyal. I told you this is the only team I hate because they can hurt us. Anthony Gordon is coming on as well, guys. So 2 changes are being made by Eddie Howe for the start of this second half. Now, I'm not sure if Isak has come out or whether that's a straight swap. But Callum Wilson is on. We haven't got any confirmation of who's come off. Gordon is also coming on. I would presume that is for Jacob Murphy. Yes. Isak is still on the pitch. So Murphy is... Isak is still there. So I presume Isak's going to go to the left. I'm not sure what he's doing. Has he gone 4-4-2 here? It looks like he's gone 4-4-2, guys. For the first time in a long time, Eddie has gone 4-4-2. We're underway for the second half, and immediately Jensen with a throw-in for Brentford in a very attacking position level with our penalty area. This is going to come in long again from the Brentford skipper. Long throw right into that 6-yard box again. It's headed away. It's come out to Callum Wilson. He holds it up nicely. Tries to play it away for Anthony Gordon, but the referee's blown for a foul on Joe Linton, and we get a free kick. We need to go at these guys now. We need to go at these guys straight away. It just hasn't been good enough. I think it's Willock that's come off. I'm trying to see. It still hasn't been confirmed by any graphic I've seen on the screen. So I'm trying to see on the pitch here. No, Willock's still on the pitch. Isak's still on the pitch. Longstaff's gone off. Yeah, Longstaff, I can understand. He's taken. He's played a lot of football, Sean Longstaff. But obviously, Eddie's trying something new here. We're certainly strong up top now. There's no doubt about that. It's Murphy and Longstaff that have gone off for Gordon and Wilson. So I think, well, Isak's still playing through the middle. It looks like a 4-4-2, I have to say. Bruno now. Dan Burn, midway through the Brentford half, out to Willock on the left-hand side. Joe Willock now cuts back inside. Lays it off to Bruno. Bruno looking for an option. Plays a brilliant ball through. It's going to get... Isak's going to let that roll out for a corner. So a good start for the second half. A corner for Newcastle. But we need to start converting these corners, guys. We need to start putting the ball in the back of the net from set pieces. That's the important thing that we need to do here. Otherwise, we're just going to get... It's point. Trippier needs to be better with these corners. We need to find a Newcastle head. Some people are saying 4-2-4, 4-2-3-1. In comes the corner. It's very, very deep. In fact, it's way over everybody. But Isak's done really well to keep the ball in play on this right-hand side. Rolls it back to Anthony Gordon. Gordon now looking for support. Gets it from Joe Willock. Across to Bruno now. Bruno goes through two Brentford players brilliantly. That's brilliant from Bruno. Brilliant ball! Oh, Dan Burn just couldn't get a foot on it. A tackle at the very last second denies Dan Burn. What a ball by Bruno. He's given offside, actually. But what a pass by Bruno that was. And Dan Burn almost in. It was a brilliant tackle. He is offside, actually. Yeah, he's clearly offside. But brilliant ball through. Burn took a touch. And I think it was Hickey came across and just pinched the ball away from Dan Burn. But the offside flag has gone up. But that's a better start to the half for Newcastle. Joe Linton now with the ball. Plays it out wide again now for Joe Willock. Willock now picking the ball up and running with it. He's seen more of the ball in this second half than he did in the whole of the first. Willock, terrible ball though, but it bounces to Bruno. Bruno again, looking for that option. And again, he's caught really late. Where is the yellow card, referee? Still no booking for the Brentford players. In fact, it's Norgard 3 years late on Bruno again. He plays the ball, and then how is that not a booking? Shambolic refereeing again. I mean, that's all I can say. Shambolic refereeing. Free kick again, which Kieran Trippier is going to take. But this is very, very central. This is going to have to be something that's worked on on the training field here. See if we can come up with anything. Bruno just steps out looking for the ball. Trippier now just clips it into the box. Right at the back post. Botman gets a head on it, but not enough purchase. And into the arms of Rea. Rea lets the ball go. The referee then decides to give a free kick to Brentford. Callum Wilson on the goalkeeper. This referee's awful. He's absolutely awful. I mean, Wilson's standing in front of the goalkeeper, but it's one of them games, guys. The referee, we're going to get nothing from this referee today by the looks of things. Absolutely nothing. Rea's goal kick goes long. Fabian Scherer's underneath it, just chests it down for Nick Pope. Good defending that. Nick Pope looks for options. Rolls it out to Botman. Botman's still in his own penalty area. Brings it out slowly, looking for that pass. Gives it to Dan Burn. Burn turns, plays it up the line to absolutely nobody. But Wilson's done really well there to shrug the Brentford player off the ball. That's brilliant from Callum Wilson, and that's a corner to Newcastle United. Great work from Wilson because Dan Burn's ball down the line wasn't great. And then Wilson shrugged the Brentford player off and won the ball brilliantly. Great play by Callum Wilson. But now we need a better corner because the first one in this half from Trippier was over the top of everybody. Trippier again. In it comes. Doesn't beat the first man. Flicked away. Isak gets a touch on it. It's going to come out. It's come to Jensen and he just hammers the ball down the field. Nick Pope comes out to claim this one. Pope then goes long on the half volley. Joe Linton now will give it to the right-hand side to Anthony Gordon. First time he's been able to have a run at the Brentford back four. Gordon skips round one, still got the ball, lays it to Joe Linton, inside to Bruno. Bruno now, he's got a bit of space to run into, passes it out to the left to Joe Willock. Overlap from Byrne. I don't think Joe Willock will use him, though. He'll come back on his right foot, lays it into Isak, nicely done. Back to Bruno. I thought Isak could have turned there. He had an opportunity. Out to Trippier on the right-hand side. Trippier's ball in again is terrible. And all the way. I'm sorry, but Trippier's deliveries have been absolutely shocking today. Really poor. Again, he had nobody on him. Plenty time to get the cross in. And it's just overhit again. I mean, look, Kieran Trippier is a class act, but I want to see somebody else take a free kick or a corner. Just somebody else. It's not working with Trippier, so change it. There's plenty of players on that pitch that can take corners and things like that. It doesn't have to be Trippier all the time. Joe Linton gives it away. Anthony Gordon snapping at the heels there to try and win the ball back. Rhea then goes long to the left-hand side. Trippier wins the header. Bruno now. He plays it all the way back to Nick Pope. Certainly Newcastle with a lot of possession at the start of this second half, but again, we haven't had to make the keeper make a save. Terrible pass from Dan Byrne again. My God! Get your finger out your ass, man. Willock wins a free kick for Newcastle. Jesus, how many times are we going to say this? Bruno now. Clips it out to the right-hand side. Trippier takes it down on his chest over the halfway line. Lots of space to run into for the Newcastle captain. Lays it to Anthony Gordon. Inside to Alexander Isak. Isak looking for some support. Gets it. Bruno. Bruno goes wide to Trippier on the right-hand side. Inside to Joe Linton. Joe Linton brilliantly skips round. Big chance for Newcastle. It's in the net. I think it's an own goal, but Joe Linton will claim it. A brilliant piece of skill from the big man. And Newcastle United are level. And it's deserved because we've been the better side at the start of this second half. Absolutely brilliant. And Joe Linton's bit of skill in the box there. I think it's an own goal. But, hey, I don't give an absolute monkey's hairy arse. It is 1-1 at the Community Stadium. Just seen a replay here. Bruno fires a ball across to Trippier. Trippier, he's onside. Don't even think about giving that as an offside. Skips inside. It's great play. And in fact, it's Rhea's. It hits Rhea's heel and goes in. So it's not a defender. So I'm not sure if Bruno's going to, if Joe Linton will get that goal. I think he will actually. Just seen it again now. Did he go for goal? I'm not sure, but it's in the back of the net anyway. And it's 1-1 at the Community Stadium. We are level. And that is a great time to get the equaliser because, well, we started the second half really well, guys. I have to say, really well. So the change in tactics have done us well. Good play by Trippier into Joe Linton. 3 Brentford players round him. He gets it to Bruno. Brilliant from Big Joe again. Dan Byrne now. Just clips it back to Bruno. Bruno, head up. Again, sees off the Brentford player really well. Then is pushed to the floor. Brentford furious because there's a Brentford player gone down holding his face as Bruno just brushed him away. Ivan Toney again in the face of the referee. Dan Byrne just comes across and tells him he's been an arse. Shut his face. 1-1. And we've got lots of time. Lots of time. We've been by far the better side the first 10 minutes of this second half. That there is no doubt. But what a piece of skill by Joe Linton to cut inside the defender and just, well, I think in the end he was trying to play it across. Guys, I'm telling you now, any more spoilers and you'll be chucked out. I'm sick of it. Just stop. Have some decency, man. Trippier now for Newcastle. Whips it into Bruno, right in the middle of the field. Out to Dan Byrne on the left. He's got Willock in support. Joe Willock now. Willock cuts inside to Isak. Isak, a little back heel to Bruno. Bruno, brilliant again. And then clips the ball out to Trippier. Kieran Trippier, can he get a better ball in this time? No, he can't. It's behind again. Trippier's crossing, man. There's opportunities there. You know, the forwards are just screaming out for a decent ball to get a head onto, and we can't find it. It's got to be better. But Brentford have been shocked by this change of formation for Newcastle. It has really worked. Rhea plays the goal kick. Again, Joe Linton trying to win it. Brentford get the ball down. Play it over the top to the left-hand side. De Silva now. He's got options in the middle. It's a long, long, long ball, but it's gone out of play. I think that was even Tony, actually. And it's a goal kick to Newcastle. But we are definitely on the up here. We started by far the better team in the second half. Really have rocked Brentford. They are taken aback by the change in formation, clearly. And it has worked so far. We need to keep this intensity up. We really do, because we're passing it around much better. Nick Pope with the goal kick for Newcastle. He was going to lock it short. He's now decided he's going to go long, try and create another attack. Long ball from Nick Pope again as the sunshine beats down on the pitch here at the Community Stadium. Knocked back. Callum Wilson, he's going in on Rhea. Rhea has to go left-footed. He sliced that completely out of play. And Brentford are rattled here. They are rattled by the way Newcastle have started this second half. It's very, very strange. Very strange game of football, this. Normally we want to see a complete 90 minutes like we did against Man United, but it's bizarre. It really is a bizarre game of football, this. And we're coming forward again now with Joe Willock on the left. Willock cuts inside, lays it into Isak. Isak, he's got Dan Burn wide of him. Dan Burn clips it into the box. Oh, good defending. Just got there. And Brentford get away and try and catch us on the break. Referee says no foul, trying to cheat us. George T, thank you for a £5 super chat. That has calmed me down a bit. Just need a winner now. Absolutely, mate. Other scores in the Premier League. Villa leading Nottingham Forest by 1-0. As with Newcastle on the attack again. Callum's not going to keep that in play. Just slightly overhit by Isak. Fulham 0, West Ham 1 at Craven Cottage. Leicester 0, Bournemouth 1. What a big game that is. Tottenham 1, Brighton 1, and Wolves 1, Chelsea 0 are the latest scores in the Premier League as it stands, guys. So, well, Brighton at the moment keeping Tottenham to a draw, so a point each at the moment. So, fourth place is still there. 73% possession for Newcastle in this second half. And we've got well over half an hour left of it. Certainly plenty time to keep going as Rhea slips as he kicks the ball, but it's a long goal kick which Botman goes for. Joe Linton now. Joe Linton plays it wide to Trippier. Trippier's got support from Gordon. Anthony Gordon now. Looking for help. Gets it from Kieran Trippier. Good bit of play there from Gordon. Had two Brentford players all over him. Fabian Schär. Back to Anthony Gordon now. Gordon cuts back and then lays it back to Trippier. Good bit of possession for Newcastle, but they are being pushed back by Brentford here. Nick Pope says, sod it, I'm going long this time. Everybody can't see the ball for the sunshine. Joe Linton, nice little touch to Callum Wilson. Now, Bruno clips it out to the left to Dan Burn, who is in acres of space, takes it down on his right foot, runs onto it, plays it inside to Joe Willock. Willock again has Bruno in support. Bruno now pushes it left to Dan Burn. Burn looks for help, gets it from Joe Willock. Great bit of play by Willock, slides it into Bruno. Good football again. Bruno to Joe Linton. Joe Linton out wide now to Anthony Gordon. Gordon clips a cross in. Wilson going up for the header, but it was cleared away by Brentford. And again, Newcastle threatening. Winner throw in now. Back to Fabian Schär. Brighton, by the way, have taken the lead at Tottenham. It's Tottenham 1, Brighton 2 now. Incredible. Trying to see who scored. It hasn't been confirmed yet who the goal scorer is. I think it's been ruled out for a foul, so it's back to 1-1. Brentford trying to get it out of their own half at the moment. Newcastle really are pressing. Woofer FS1, thank you for a £5 super chat. Looks like a new team. It does. Definitely more impetus about Newcastle United in this second half. Bruno wins the ball back to Joe Linton. Joe Linton plays it into Callum Wilson. Wilson now running into the box with the ball. Takes it on his left foot. Finds a chance to Isak. It's a beautiful finish from Alexander Isak. What a goal from the Swede! And Newcastle take the lead. It's absolutely brilliant finish. It's a first-time curler into the top corner. How's your father? Clip your nails with a big lawnmower. It is magnificent. Absolutely magnificent from the big Swede. And we are 2-1 up. We've turned the game around brilliantly. Great work from Wilson. Squares into Isak. and he just curls it with the inside of his foot, and it's 2-1, and no VAR is going to stop that, Bellends. It is 2-1. What a finish from Isak. This man is just pure class. Robert Taylor, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. Much appreciated, buddy. Now, this is the time where we should go on and absolutely bury these guys. We should absolutely bury them. What an opportunity now. Get 3 or 4. Hammer them. What a fantastic finish from Isak. We've dominated the second half. We look like a different team. Brentford haven't had an answer to this. Shave my asshole with a rusty razor, guys. We are well on top in this game. Absolutely superb. Superb. Brentford get the game underway again. That didn't look like it went backwards either. Brentford now trying to fall over and win free kicks. It's not going to work. Anthony Gordon bursting through again. Plays it down the line. Great stuff. Now, Bruno doesn't have the greatest of pace. It's a good tackle, but Anthony Gordon goes straight in and wins the ball back brilliantly. The Brentford player rolling around like he's being poleaxed. Honestly, Henry's rolling around. He's not hurt. He's just looked up to see where the ball is. Newcastle will play on. Get up, you monumental bellend. Played wide now. Kieran Trippier on the ball for Newcastle. Inside again to Isak. Plays it to Joe Linton. Joe Linton then goes out wide to Big Dan Burn. Burn takes his time, rolls it back to Botman. And you know what? I'm glad we're not mentioning our centre-backs very much in this second half so far, to be fair. Joe Willock, again, just steady on the ball, not panicking. Rolls it back to Botman. Botman's got Share opposite, but he just rolls it back to Gordon. Gordon now into Fabian Share. Share into Bruno now. Bruno's got 2 on him. Plays it back to Share. Share goes wide now to Dan Burn. Good football again from Newcastle. Short to Willock. Willock into Joe Linton. Joe Linton, brilliant from him, just holds off the Brentford player. There's only one team in this. Bruno, what a ball over the top for Willock. Can Willock get there? Hickey trying to play it out for a corner, but he has to play it. Great work from Joe Willock. And again, pressing Brentford right in. They don't have an answer. It's up the line. Botman, a great tackle again. Superb from Newcastle, this. This is brilliant stuff. Bruno just taking his time. Rolls it to Joe Linton. Joe Linton at walking pace. Back to Bruno. They're just playing a little bit of 1-2 football at the moment. Joe Linton then decides to go across to Trippier. Trippier down the line looking for Gordon. Played back to Rhea in the goal. He slices the clearance up the field. Joe Linton again is underneath this. Brilliant. Brilliant from Isak. Newcastle just won't let Brentford settle on the ball at all. They cannot get the ball. This is magnificent football from Newcastle United. Here goes Joe Willock again, bursting forward. Willock inside. It's not the best pass. Wilson does brilliantly, though. Callum Wilson. Oh, he tried to square it. It comes to Isak. Oh, great save from Rhea. Wow. Brilliant save. It could have been 3-1. That is just tremendous. Brentford just don't have an answer, guys. They have no answer to this at all right now. Isak, oh, bloody hell. I mean, it was a free chance, but he hit it practically straight at Rhea. It's a good save because it was low. He had to get down to it, but we've got a corner. Incredible action here. Trippier's corner. That's a better one. It's bouncing around in the area. 3-1! Callum Wilson! And Newcastle are in dreamland. Absolute bloody dreamland. And it's 3-1. I don't believe this. And from the first half to this is just unbelievable. I mean, paint my face with a chapstick, guys. It's 3-1. Trippier's corner was brilliant. Into the 6-yard box. It's bouncing around. They're trying to claim handball, I think, in here. Wilson just spins and fires it home like a striker should. And I'll tell you what, I bet they're going to try. I bet they're going to try and claim handball here. I mean, after the Brentford player handled it as well, so what you going to do? Brilliant from Wilson. That is clinical from Callum Wilson. Absolutely sodden clinical. Definitely hit his chest. No doubt about it. 3-1 Toon. And we are in absolute dreamland right now. Absolute dreamland. VAR are looking at this, by the way, just to let you know. Possible handball. I mean, here we go again. Honestly, they'll do anything. Callum's saying it's his shoulder. We've seen it again. I mean, there's no way they can give that as a handball. I mean, listen, I'm calling bullshit if they give this as a handball. Absolutely ridiculous, man. I mean, VAR doing all they can here again to try and rule the goal out. He's disallowed it, guys. He's given handball. Oh, man, honestly, this is ridiculous. Honestly, I have no answer to VAR. I have no answer at all. They are just absolute sudden shocking. Handball. Christ on a bike. Anyway, it's still 2-1 to us. We're still winning the game. We're still playing brilliant football in the second half. Let's just hope that that doesn't go against us, guys. Brentford now coming forward, desperately trying to get into the game. Willock working his arse off to get back, as is Big Joe Linton. But here come Brentford. Nick Pope should get that ball. Thank you very much. It's in His Holiness's arms. I've had enough of VAR. I've simply had enough. They are ridiculous, man. Guys, we've got over 2,000 watching, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. If you are enjoying the stream, please do hit that like button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, as so many wonderful people have already today. Just incredible. Thank you so much. Please, also, if you want to donate to the channel, you can by hitting the $ at the bottom of those live comments. As Brentford now come forward. On the left-hand side, De Silva clips it in. That's Nick Pope's ball all day long. And he quickly throws it out and gets us away on the attack again. It's a terrible throw, actually, from Nick Pope. It's gone straight to the Brentford back line. Let's just settle this down a little bit. Just get back in the game here. That VAR decision. But we win it back again. Isak, brilliant from the Swede. Just took a heavy touch there. Brentford win the ball back. This is incredible stuff, I have to say. Absolutely incredible. Played out to the left-hand side again. De Silva. He will try and get the ball in again. It's a better ball, this. Big chance. Brentford want a penalty. It's not going to be given. It's going to roll out, and it's a corner to Brentford. Shada wanted a penalty. Sensible Monica, thank you for your £5 super chat. Fantastic commentary, fantastic turnaround. Eddie is a genius. Oh, if we are looking at this for a penalty, I'm going to go nuts, guys. Absolutely nuts. Botman stands his ground. There's no way in hell that's a penalty. Rowan Melville, thank you for your £2 super chat. He says, surely these officials need looking at. It's disgraceful. It is disgraceful. How they give that as a handball, I'll never know in a million years. But hey, it is what it is. Let's get on with the game. Brentford have a corner. We need to defend this now. In comes the corner. And it's headed away brilliantly by Bruno. It's gone for, Joe Linton. Rising above like a salmon yet again. And it's going to be another corner to Brentford. Jensen taking his time with this one. Needs to find a target. Again, massive, massive scrambles in the penalty area. In comes the corner. It's right. Oh, and Tony kind of mishit it. And it's gone for a goal kick. Tony looks at the referee in disbelief, but then thinks, yeah, I'm not going to be a knobby. It's gone for a corner. A goal kick. So we've got 20 minutes of the 90 left, and it's Newcastle United who have turned this game around and lead incredibly by 2-1. George T, thank you very much for another £5 super chat. That must have been a massive bollock, and they got it half time. Yeah, but the changes as well, George, you have to take that into consideration. The changes that he made have clearly worked. The change in formation has worked. We look so different in this second half. So different. But I just hope that VAR decision when we got that third goal just doesn't rock us a little bit, because we've been completely on top in this second half. Absolutely flying. Isak's everywhere at the minute. And I have to say, what a goal that was, by the way. The second goal. Isak just didn't even take a touch. And Buemo's going to come on for Brentford. He's definitely a pacey little player. Great work by Joe Linton, but it's given us a free kick to Brentford. They try and take it quickly. The ball was rolling. Stop cheating, man. Trying to get Joe Linton the yellow card there by not moving out the way of the ball. That's not great from Ivan Toney at all. I don't like to see that. Des Schofield, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. Great match commentary. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. And Brentford's free kick goes absolutely nowhere and trickles out of play. We know when we get a goal up, we know how strong we can be. We know we can see a game out, and that's what we've got to do. I mean, personally, I don't know what Callum Wilson could have done differently there for that disallowed goal. I don't see any way that he could have, look, at the end of the day, we've seen some shocking decisions in this match so far. Absolutely shocking. But the main point is we are 2-1 up. We've got less than 20 minutes now in the game. I would love a third goal because I think a third goal will kill the game and kill Brentford's confidence. But we need to defend. Shard now breaking forward for Brentford. Brilliant tackle, Sven Botman. Just poke the ball away from him and clears away. Superb from the big Dutchman there to just clip the ball away from him and clear it out. Brentford are certainly making a push now. They are pushing, which could favour us for a counter-attack, to be honest. But Brentford are going to make 2 changes. And Bueno is coming on. I would think that possibly for De Silva. I'm still waiting a confirmation of that. No, it's Hickey, the defender. So Hickey and De Silva are coming off. And Bueno is coming on with, when the graphic decides to update itself. Roadblock, thanks for another £2 super chat. It's Baptiste who's coming on. Blatant cartel corruption, they just don't care. Yeah. But now it's just up to us. Keep scoring the goals. Keep banging them in. VAR can't disallow good goals. And we'll see where we end up after the match is finished. But now we're 2-1 up. And we've got something to cling on to, which we really, really need to do. Anton, thank you for your £3 super sticker, matey. Very, very kind. Thank you so much. Guys, please remember to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We are up and coming. Well, we're not up and coming. We are the most viewed Newcastle United channel, live shows. So please come and join us. Hit that subscribe button. Free to do so. And a fantastic community that we have to welcome you as well. Joe Linton now out to Kieran Trippier on the right-hand side. Trippier moving to the right. Looks for help. Plays the ball down the line. He was looking for Callum Wilson there, but didn't quite find him. Gordon and Isak. Oh, brilliant from Isak to win the ball. And Newcastle are 4-2 here. Callum Wilson, can he pick the right pass out? No, he can't. It bounces and Rhea gets there ahead of Isak. Just couldn't poke the ball through to Joe Willock, who was unmarked. Absolutely unmarked. Rowan, thank you very much for your £2 super chat. This is great commentary, mate. Subscribe. Thank you very much, buddy. Newcastle knocking it around again really well. Brilliant ball by Joe Linton out to the left to Dan Burn. Burn now has got space and time. Just knocks it back to Botman. No changes in the scores in the Premier League as is, but Brighton have had 2 goals, I believe, disallowed, which is incredible. Spurs hanging on desperately. Nick Pope goes long again. He's looking for Anthony Gordon on the right-hand side, but Gordon just lets the Brentford player run backwards. Henry going absolutely nowhere. Now he's on the ball again. Plays it up inside. Good bit of play that by Brentford. Nice one-touch football from them. Bruno clashes, and it's given us a free kick to Brentford. You know, how is that a free kick when they both collide into each other? This referee is an absolute monumental twat. And Bueno now trying to play a 1-2 with Tony, but good work from Bruno. Bruno getting dragged, and honestly, how is that not a free kick, referee? Long hanging ball in the air. Anthony Gordon battling to win the ball for Newcastle United, but the referee says foul, free kick to Brentford. Kieran Trippier straight over to the referee to question that decision, because this is absolute shocking refereeing. It really is. It's terrible refereeing. Bruno was fouled in the corner, but no, let's not give that. We'll just wait till Brentford player goes down, and then we'll give a free kick to them. This is dangerous. It's on the left-hand side. And it looks like Mbuemo and Jensen are over this one. So is it going to be the left foot or right foot? Outswinger or in-swinger? Who knows? Newcastle standing resolute, staying in the line, not letting Brentford have any sort of run on goal here. It looks like it could be Jensen to take this. It's not. It's Mbuemo on the left foot. Floated into the box. Good header from Dan Burn. Out of the box as well. Oh, Tony's done well to skip round Isak there, and the ball bounces around and goes for a goal kick. That was dangerous. Ivan Toney tried to lash the ball across the penalty area, but it didn't happen. And it's gone for a goal kick. And Newcastle United take a breather. It's certainly going to, it's going to help us if Brentford come forward. They're going to have to throw men forward, which means there's going to be space there for the counter-attack. Now, the players that we've got up front are without a doubt good enough to score on the counter-attack. 13 minutes to go. It is still Brentford 1, Newcastle United 2. Newcastle turning the game around on its head after half-time, after a pretty poor first half, it has to be said. But Brentford is starting to give Newcastle a bit of a challenge here, starting to get back into the game a little bit. That's good defending again from Sven Botman. We're going to have to defend for our lives as well, and just hope that we get that break. I'd love it. A third goal would kill the game, which is why I was so happy Callum Wilson scored. But of course, VAR once again come to Brentford's rescue. Robert says, hi, Paul. I hear your commentary and see it from the small island of Gozo. Well, thank you very much. Long throw again from Jensen right into the penalty area. Botman got a flick on it. Kieran Trippier was pushed there. Tony's gone down looking for a penalty again. Honestly, it's ridiculous how many times he's thrown himself to the floor in this second half. Screaming at the referee. But we've just got to see this little bit of pressure out from Brentford. Obviously, they're the home team. They know they're going to have to come at us. So we have to just be on our guard and make sure that we don't do anything sloppy. Like that. Kieran Trippier, poor foul there. Baptiste wins another free kick for Brentford, which they're going to throw into the box here. Trippier is sometimes guilty of doing that. He goes in and doesn't get the ball, and then he gives it's Pinnock, in fact, the centre-back, who just knocks it through the legs of Kieran Trippier, and Trippier kind of hip checks him out the way. So another free kick for Brentford in a very dangerous position. They can swing this in. But we've got some serious size advantage in that penalty area. Coming up to, 11 minutes to go. Again, Jensen and Mbuemo over this ball. They're both so far away from the ball. I don't know who's going to take this. Jensen could go for the in-swinger. It is going to be Jensen to take it. It's in-swinging. It's flicked on! What a save, Nick Pope! Absolutely superb to his left. And denies Ivan Toney a goal again. What a wonderful save, because it was just a little flick on from Ivan Toney, and it bounced in front of Nick Pope, but he got two hands and cleared it away. Wow. Botman heads it away for Newcastle. It drops to Callum Wilson now. Newcastle need a bit of time on the ball. Anthony Gordon doesn't get it. And Brentford now come down the left-hand side. Great work from Anthony Gordon to get back, though, and takes Henry out with the ball. Ball Geordie, thank you for your £5 super chat. He says, I've got a rusty razor blade and a big, big, big lawnmower. Make your choice, Paul. Arson Nails, awesome commentary as ever. Thank you. Thank you very much. Brentford have a throw-in again. I presume Jensen's going to launch this into the penalty area. What a save by Nick Pope. Yeah, he's going long again. Brentford trying the old Stoke routine here. Jensen's going to launch this into the penalty area. In it comes, again towards the near post. Won there brilliantly by Fabian Schär. Clipped back across. Won again, this time by Joe Linton. Wilson can't quite get to it. That's going to drop to Kieran Trippier, who will launch it away for a throw into Brentford, who are piling the pressure on here. This game is not won by a long way yet. 10 minutes to go. Still 2-1 to Newcastle United. Brentford are going to make another 2 changes. They are really going for it now. Really, really going for it. Norgard's come off. I'm waiting for the graphic tell me who the hell's coming on. Me and Norgard are going off. Janelt and Visa are coming on the pitch now. So Brentford are really, really going for it. We've just got to keep the concentration, stay strong, stay very strong. Brentford are throwing everything now, at literally the kitchen sink at us. So if we can get a break, they're lacking in defenders. Jensen has the ball, plays it back. In it comes again. That should be Nick Pope's. It is Nick Pope's. Brilliantly claimed by the Newcastle goalkeeper. Hey, brilliant save. Brilliant save from that flicked header. I'm just going to see this again. It comes in. Ivan Toney knows exactly what he's doing. Just flick it towards goal. And it bounces up and Nick Pope punches it away. He's got to be quick. But we need just to get a little foot on the ball. Try and get a third goal to kill this game off. Joe Willock has it on the left-hand side for Newcastle United. He's got support inside from Joe Linton. Joe Linton plays it. Well, he looked like he was going to play it back to Botman, but didn't. And then just pokes it out to the right-hand side to Kieran Trippier. Trippier over the top. What a ball for Wilson. Wilson takes it down. Wilson. Oh, just couldn't get the shot. Bruno tries to curl it, and it's high and wide. What a ball that was from Trippier. I just don't understand how Trippier can put balls like that in an open play, yet from set piece, it's never there. Wilson did really well, just poked away from him, but then, I mean, it was the same kind of effort that Bruno went for there to try and play it over. But here's Wilson again into the box. Callum Wilson chasing, forcing Brentford to clear the ball up the field. Don't give a foul away. Oh, great interception by Willock again. That's great stuff from Joe Willock to win the ball back into Joe Linton to Bruno. Bruno skips inside to Isak. Isak turns, gives it to Anthony Gordon now. Gordon, Newcastle just trying to have a bit of possession here just to take the sting out of the game. Trippier clips it in towards Callum Wilson. It's not a good ball, but Joe Linton in to win it back, and Willock now has a bit of space to run at the Brentford defence. Clips it wide for Callum Wilson. Wilson tries to go back over the top, but there's nobody there for Newcastle. And Brentford have the ball now. Isak looks absolutely dead on his feet, but he will still go. He will still go. Newcastle know they've got a week off now before the Villa game. Know that they've got an opportunity just to have a break, a bit of a rest from this treacherous 3 games. But can we end them 3 games with 9 points, which will be incredible? Brentford have the ball now just over the halfway line. Tottenham have taken the lead at home to Brighton, by the way. It's now 2-1 to Tottenham. Botman clears away for Newcastle United. Brentford throwing everything at us now. Nail-biting stuff here at the Community Stadium. Here comes another cross. Nick Pope is there again. And he grabs it and holds on. Nearly 2,200 people watching, guys. Thank you very much. You guys are absolute legends. Please hit the like button. Show your appreciation. And, of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And welcome to the Toon Review community. And you can also donate to the channel, as Geordie Mick just has there. £2 super chat. Thank you very much, mate. And he says, fantastic. Thank you very much. Oh, Joe Linton, don't lose it there on the halfway line. Bit of sloppy play there from the Brazilian. Brentford now trying to, Mbeumo trying to have a run at Dan Burn. Dan Burn wins the ball. And Willock plays it into Isak now. Isak in a mile of space and overhits the ball through to Callum Wilson. Anthony Gordon's going nuts on the right-hand side because he was completely unmarked. If Isak had just played Craig Gordon in there, he was... Craig Gordon? Anthony Gordon, he was in. It was no problem. Now it's played out to the wide to Mbeumo again, having a run at Dan Burn. Now Sharda and Botman clash again, as they have done so many times during this game. Botman stands his ground. Mbeumo trying to let the ball run out, and Brentford win a throw in. Joe Linton comes across to help out. You know where this one's going, guys. It's going to be another long throw in. Jonas says, I'm a Brentford fan watching from a plane over Brazil. Wow. Substitutions for Newcastle United coming shortly. Elliot Anderson is coming on, as is Jamal Lascelles. That's an obvious change, just shoring the defence up. Isak is coming off, I believe. He's looking at the bench. I think it's Isak that's coming off. The number hasn't gone up yet. But this is going to be a massive 5-10 minutes for Newcastle United. Massive. Isak is coming off. What a game he's had. Robert Banks, thank you for becoming a new member of the channel. Welcome to the membership, mate. Thank you for your support. Just seeing Isak's goal again here. Rolled in by Wilson. And what a finish by Alexander Isak. Genius finish. But this, you can understand him putting Jamal Lascelles on. I'm trying to see who Lascelles is actually coming on for. As Trippier gives him the armband. Isak's also been booked. Joe Willock is the other player that's gone off. He's had a very, very good second half. Very good second half. And now it's an opportunity for Newcastle to hang on. Putting another centre-back on. Elliot Anderson as well. And Anderson will be quick on the break as well, trying to catch out Brentford. Michael Harper, thank you for your 199 super chat. Dennis Nielsen, thank you for your 20 Swedish krona. Cross comes in, headed away. Nick Pope comes to claim. Nick Pope doesn't get there. I thought he was fouled. The referee says no. Alexander Isak is the game winner for the lads. Hopefully you're right, mate. The ball's bouncing around. Brentford with a bit of pressure on here. I mean, I guarantee if that was at the other end with Rhea, he'd have got a free kick for that. Trippier wins the throw-in for Newcastle just to take the sting out of it. Just over 2 minutes of normal time remaining. It remains Newcastle United 2, Brentford 1. Nick Pope was clattered into by even Tony there. No foul. Mark Mullins, thank you very much for your £10 super chat, mate. Love the effort and work you put into this channel, Paul. Keep up the amazing work, mate, as to Billy Stato and everyone involved. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Woofer FS1, thank you for your £5 super chat. I'm a Toon fan watching from the International Space Station. That would be incredible. Brentford have another throw in here, which is going to go long. They're just going to try and put everything they can into the box here. They know their time is running out. And it comes from Jensen again. Shah wins it. It's bouncing around, though. It's bouncing around in the penalty area. Byrne, that's a terrible header away. He had plenty of time to get a hold of that ball. The ball bouncing around. Bruno tripped over. Free kick, Newcastle. And that will take the sting out of it. Bruno stays down, holding his shin for a little bit. I don't really think that there's anything wrong with our Brazilian magician, but he's just getting a bit of time. I mean, the referee is, he was kicked there, and Bueno kicks his shin. So, maybe he's a little bit painful. But the Brazilian magician is back on his feet. What a game he's had again, by the way. And hats off to these players because they didn't bottle it at half-time. They know they didn't play well first half. But again, Eddie's got them in. We've regrouped. We've changed things around a little bit. And credit to Eddie Howe for doing that. And then we've been by far a much better side second half. Long ball by Nick Pope, heading towards the corner. Flicked on again. Joe Linton brings it down on his chest. Skips away from the challenger Shard. Into Bruno. And Bruno caught late again. No free kicks as the referee. Throw into Brentford. They've got to get on with things rather quickly. And they do. But at the minute, we'll push them back. It's all the way back to Rhea. Rhea's going to have to go long here. No, he doesn't. He slides the ball up. And Brentford are really under pressure here because we're closing down very, very quickly. 5 minutes, I think, is the injury time. Brentford have run the ball out of play. Sorry, 4 minutes. Only 4 minutes of injury time. Hell's teeth. My arse is twitching like a rabbit's nose now, guys. Seriously, twitching like a rabbit's nose. The Newcastle fans in full voice, cheering their team on as best they can. And hopefully the players are feeling that. And we can hang on here. We deserve to. The second half, we blew them away. Bruno again wins the throw-in. No, he doesn't, says the referee. That's going to Brentford. Dan Burn hangs onto the ball. Well, that's not where the throw-in is bloody went. Jesus Christ. But the referee allows play to go on. And Brentford come at us again. Long ball play to the right-hand side. Dan Burn is way out of position. Nick Pope comes for a header. He's miles out of his goal, but does brilliantly to block the second effort. Holy shit. Oh, man. Talk about heart and mouth stuff. In comes the cross again. Nick Pope decides to come. He punches this time. It's into the air it goes. Joe Linton now brings the ball down, steadies the ship. That's brilliant from Joe Linton, just calming things down. And Dan Burn whacks it away up the field. Callum Wilson is underneath this one. Can't quite bring the ball down. Elliot Anderson getting stuck in. Bruno just blasts it into the crowd. 2.5 minutes to go for Newcastle United in what would be an incredible victory, given how well Brentford's home form is this season and who they've beaten this season. Lascelles tries to go for a header, completely misses it. Bruno, Elliot Anderson, lovely header into Bruno now, looking for the run of Callum Wilson, but Bruno's going. He's got Wilson in here. Callum Wilson! Oh, he slices it wide. But again, great running from Anthony Gordon because he created the space for Wilson. He took a defender away. And, you know, when you're Callum Wilson, you're on a scoring run like he is, you're going to hit that. Just sort of sliced it. It just ran away from him a little bit. Cleared away again by Newcastle United. Rhea has the ball. Brentford play on. We've got to be strong now. Less than 2 minutes of injury time left. Long ball towards Mbuemo. Dan Burn wins the header. Elliot Anderson just skies it, but he goes after it and wins the header back again. Tremendous effort from the lads to hang on to this. Brentford trying everything they can to get something out of this game now. Rhea belts it long again and Trippier's gone up, doesn't win it. It's bouncing around. It's now with Fabian Schär. He launches it. Anthony Gordon now gives pace down the right-hand side. He's going to run for the corner flag, but brilliant pace from Anthony Gordon. He sees Wilson inside him. Wilson, he's got Elliot Anderson. This is chance to wrap it up. Oh, he's passed it back to the goalkeeper. You can see what he was trying to do. He's trying to curl it round into the corner, and he just couldn't get any purchase on it. Incredible stuff. Brilliant run from Anthony Gordon. Absolutely superb. And that's going to be a foul. Brentford are going to launch this into the box. Henry brought down by Anthony Gordon. We're into the last minute of injury time. Hell, my arse is twitching now like a bloody tractor's exhaust and mind a rabbit's nose. This is Brentford's last opportunity, surely, of this game to get an equaliser. They've took the free kick quickly. They haven't launched it in. Now they do. It's into the box. Oh, it's hit the top of the net from Ivan Toney. Holy shit. I thought it was dropping in. Nick Pope looked a beaten man there, but it doesn't. It drops over the bar, and that is a goal kick to Newcastle, and that should be it. Jesus Christ. He got the beat in the bottom there. Nick Pope was struggling. He was struggling. The 4 minutes are up. The 4 minutes are now up. Blow that bloody whistle, referee. Newcastle making a change. Anthony Gordon's come off. I'm not sure why that is. Eddie Howe's having a word with him. The substitute replaces the substitute. But all is good by the looks of things there with Eddie Howe. I'm not sure why he's brought Anthony Gordon off, to be fair. I really don't understand that. But Matt Ritchie's literally on, probably for the last kick of the game. Just wasting a bit more time. Nick Pope launches it. And there is the final whistle. Would you believe it? We've won. An incredible second half performance from Newcastle United. And we march on. We march on, guys. Absolutely fantastic. Nearly 2,400 of you watching. Thank you so much, guys. Please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit that like button to celebrate Newcastle's win. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, hit that $sign at the bottom of the live comments. It really does help support us in what we're doing here. So thank you very much to each and everybody. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Come and be part of this incredible, incredible community that we have right here on the Toon Review. But I'm ecstatic. I mean, that was incredible. What a crazy game of football we have just witnessed there, guys. Absolute crazy game of football. Billy Bob, explain that second half.
Just complete roller coaster where we start showed there by the left. None more epitomised from the goalkeeper, Nick Pope, who had an absolute superb game today.
Yeah.
Back to best again. And we needed him today, thank God.
Yeah. Alex, simply incredible. He changed it at half-time. He changed the formation. You've got to give massive, massive credit to the manager. But those players went out there. Joe Linton's goal, magnificently cut inside the defender. Maybe a bit fortunate, but I don't give a shit. And Isak's was just a joy to watch. Steve Mallum, thank you for your $4.99. He says, yes, least we deserved from that second half. Have a Pepsi Max on me, Paul. Great commentary. Edward, thank you for your 200 yen. Great stuff, Paul, and the team. Alex.
Yeah, I mean, all credit to the manager for changing the shape, bringing on some different personnel. Tiny bit surprised by the Longstaff sub, but in hindsight, makes sense. It completely made sense. He was a little bit leggy, as we pointed out. I think Billy pointed out, and it was right. He was all right, but he doesn't look 100% fit. He looks sort of 80, 90% fit. And it was brilliant. It was nice to see Wilson looked a little bit better with a strike partner. Of course he would. You know, even Chris Wood looked good with a strike partner. So anybody's going to look good if they've got a bit of help. It was a perfect managerial performance. I see Gordon looked a little bit annoyed to come off, but he kept giving away free kicks.
Yeah, he did. He's
got to grow up a little bit and learn that. Maybe not immediately. He's young. It's fine.
I think everything calmed down. I think Eddie Howe calmed him down. Yeah, he's a bit frustrated, but I think Eddie calmed him right down. Ryan Wardley, thank you for your $1.99. Much appreciated. Billy, it could have been 3, but yet again, VAR decide no. I'm not sure what Callum Wilson could have done about that, to be honest. It just hit the top half of his arm, bounced down, he scored.
Hit his shoulder, which was down by his side. To me, it's not handball. It's as much a handball from the Brentford defenders as it is a striker.
Well, it hit both.
That would have been a goal 5 years ago. They changed the rules where if it touches your arm as an attacker, it doesn't matter. It is always disallowed. So they changed the rules. It used to be all right if it was a ball to hand or if it was accidental, you'd still get the goal. But nowadays you just don't get them, unfortunately.
I mean, the referee was awful. Let's be honest. He had an atrocious game today. VAR, I mean, need looking at because we said it at halftime, taking 6 minutes to make a decision. You can't. It's not a clear and obvious. Therefore, you cannot give it. But they did. But it's all water under the bridge because the changes he made, Billy, were just perfect, weren't they? Because, my God, we just obliterated them the first 20 minutes of that second half.
Yeah, we looked flat first half. He changed the system. He brought some new players on who looked hungry. Wilson looked more like his old self. And when we just pushed them back, Joe Linton really came into the game second half. I thought it was fantastic second half, working through the middle. Willock came into the game a little bit more too. Gordon's pace down the right. It was just night and day in the first half. And Brentford had no answer to it for the first 20 minutes of the day. It
looked like they'd been shell-shocked, didn't it? Because of the way we went at them. Hyperball, thank you very much for your new membership. Welcome to Members Club and thank you for your support of the channel. Mark Mullins, thank you for your £5. He says, get in. The Toon Army goes marching on. Are the hoodies available yet? Very soon, mate. We'll make an announcement on them very soon, buddy. Alex, the way we defended as well. I mean, we knew Brentford were going to throw the kitchen sink at us. They're at home. They've beaten some very good sides at the community stadium this season and have had a very good season themselves. But again, the defending was superb. I mean, Botman, wasn't great in first half, but second half, him and Cher, they were just there for everything, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we changed the personnel and the system so much that a lot of the lads didn't know what they were doing. It's not their fault. It's not the manager's fault. We needed to play that way. So a few of the lads were playing in different positions. So there was a lot of it was down to instinct and just natural footballing ability and intelligence. Players were just having to try and figure out where they should be, when they should go, when they should tackle. Botman and Burn, much better performance today from Burn. A lot more solid, way more improved. Botman, second half, incredible, absolute brick wall. Trippier shouting. Everyone to try and because obviously we played a funny shape that we don't normally play, so it was quite erratic, but they all tried to stay as focused as possible, and it showed. It was good. It could have gone wrong, but luckily they focused enough.
Yeah, I mean, Trippier is deliveries from set pieces were awful today, and I just like that, if there's one downside of that, I just want to see somebody else take a set piece or two. I'm sure Bruno could take a free kick. He's got the ability to ping a pass in. But then you look at Trippier. But from open play, Trippier, his passing was brilliant. You know, some of the balls he put over the top down the channels, superb. But it's not coming from a dead ball, and it's weird. But listen, he was great defensively again today. You know, no doubt, Billy, that Brentford tried the old Stoke City tactics with a long throw in and things like that. It didn't work for them. I think we handled those throw-ins very well. Brilliant save from Nick Pope. I mean,
that's meta.
You know, when he needs to keep his concentration. I mean, that came to him, and I'm not having, it was a good height from all this bull rot, because that came at him at pace. You know, the free kick was curled in with pace.
Position.
Yeah. It was
3 yards out.
Pace and flicked on from 3 yards out. And he got a good save. 2 hands on it to push it away, Billy.
Yeah, strong hands too, because if he just got his hands to it, someone would have tapped it in. He had a great game today, Nick Pope. He's back to his best again today. Even his judgment and coming out and dealing with things. Once, twice, it looks a bit hairy.
That time he came out and headed the ball. But then he went and challenged. He went and challenged Mbeumo and said, "Right, try and score from here." And he blocked that as well. And kept his hands out the way, which was impressive. But listen, it wouldn't be Newcastle United if it wasn't a roller coaster ride, would it? You know, when we defending like that, and as I say, you got to expect Brentford, Alex, to come out like that, given the home form, given the way they've played, and of course, being at home, they're going to attack us.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why they're so high up the table. They don't have the technical quality to control games completely, but they've got that physicality. You know, we talked about the midfield yesterday in the preview. A lot of the Danish lads, and Norgard especially, they've got a bit of oomph. They can play 3, 4, 5 passes in a row, a couple of Cruyff turns and stuff to get them into space. Not a bad side at all. And their position in the table, reflects that. You can see why they've beaten so many teams at home. Very, very dangerous when they start flinging balls into some of the big guys as well. Very physical with a bit of technical quality. Can break. That Sharda was excellent. We didn't predict him to play today. We thought it was going to be Visa, and I was surprised at how tidy he is. It looks really promising for Brentford. You don't look at them and think, oh, they've overachieved this season and will drop off next year. It looks like they might. If they get it right, they might be able to go from strength to strength. They're a good side.
I don't think Thomas Frank will let that happen. I think he's a good manager, him, and he's got a big future in the game. There's no doubt about that, whether it be here or... You don't agree with me, Billy?
I wouldn't want to manage my team. He's very Tony Pulis, in my opinion.
Really? Okay.
Really?
Interesting. Sean Stevenson, thank you very much for your £2 super chat. This is not the best day. I mean, performance he probably means, but a win's a win. Great show, lads. Let's not forget here, we've had 3 games in 7 days, or in 6 days, actually. 6. 6 days. And we've got maximum points.
I think you wanted 7, didn't you? And we've got 9.
I said 7, yeah, because I thought we beat West Ham. I was confident we'd beat Man United, but I thought maybe it's a draw here, given that it was the last game of this run of games. And I thought maybe if we get out of Brentford with a point, given the way they've been playing this season, it will be a fantastic achievement. But for maximum points, incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, Billy, that first goal, Joe Linton, brilliant awareness to step inside the defender. I'm not sure whether he was aiming for the goal. I've looked at it a couple of times. I think he was trying to square it. Well, I think he was. I don't know. He'll probably say he wasn't. Hits Rhea's heel and goes in. But it was a lovely goal. Yeah,
to manufacture the space down that right-hand side was brilliant. I don't think he was trying to score. He was trying to put it in an area, wasn't he? And fortunately enough, Rhea's heel caught it and he went in the net. But Joe Linton was absolutely phenomenal second half, a real powerhouse.
And of course, Alex, the second. I mean, we talk about Isak being a world-class player in years to come. I mean, this guy's got a hell of a future. Kieran Dyer saying what he did about Alexander Isak must be looking like feel like a right prat now, given what he said about him. The ball, lovely square ball from Wilson, but the technique to whip that ball, if you look where he started that ball out at, and it just curls into the top corner, was sensational.
Yeah, I mean, the XG on that shot was 0.1, so you score 10% of them. And then when you factor in that most people just thump it, he didn't just thump it. There was, as you said, curled it into the top corner with world-class finesse, because he looks like he's not done enough yet to show it. You've got to do it for a longer time. But if we take this small sample of what we've seen, that's been a world-class sample of games If he can then do this, then we could call him world class officially. But he looks like he might be. He very well might be, because that's outrageous, some of the stuff he's doing.
I mean, it wasn't just the goal. It was the way he was linking up in that second half. When we changed formation, he was just getting the ball, little touches of absolute brilliance. The way he was controlling the ball, bringing others into play. Bruno was just outstanding again. I mean, this guy is just awesome. Sammy, thank you for your $7.99 real. He says, Ramadan blessings, still giving. Let's go, guys. Blessings to you as well, Sammy. Thank you very much. George, thank you for your £18 to celebrate 18,000 subscribers. The way we're going will not be long at 19,000. 18,178 subscribers already. Thank you so much to everybody for joining the channel. Really incredible support. £20 super chat from Mick Lingard. He says, dog shit first half, but super second half. Yep.
Can I just point out as well, we quadrupled our XG output in the second half. 4 times more expected goals in the second half. That's how much we turned it back on with the substitutions and the changes.
Incredible. And that shot of Isaac was 0.11. Was it 0.1?
It was 0.1. So it shows a lot. We had a lot of good chances from elsewhere. Yeah.
Tottenham's XG for the game today, they've won 2-1 was 0.1.
Well, that sounds about right for Tottenham.
Well, they've got away one because apparently Brighton had 2 goals disallowed in that game
Scandalous.
as well. So, yeah, disgraceful. But listen,
we still have a game in hand on them. So
yeah,
all right.
We still have a game in hand, and it's in our hands, isn't it? So it doesn't really matter what Tottenham do as long as we keep
them
going.
again as well.
Yeah, we do. We've got a home game with them in 2 weeks' time, so that's going to be a huge.
So if we beat them and win our game in hand, we're 6 points above them.
Yeah. Geordie boy, thank you for your £2 super chat. He says, a simple thanks, Paul. Great commentary. Thank you very much. Billy, this really sets up next week's game at Villa Park, doesn't it? Because we know how Villa fans feel about Newcastle. But, you know, this kind of form, I mean, look, Emery's got Villa playing superbly well. But it's another game that you think, right, go there, play well, we come out with a win.
Yeah, it's arguably the 2 form teams of the league at the moment, going head-to-head, I guess. I think we've got more quality than them. I think we've got more energy than them. A week's rest will do us a world of good. But it will be a hard game. It's not going to be easy by any shadow of the imagination. It's going to be a hard game for the Park.
The good thing is we've got a week's rest now. So Eddie will probably give the guys a couple of days off, get, regenerated, recuperated, just get these little knocks and things like that out the system. And hopefully Maxi will be back as well. So I think a couple of days off will do them the world of good. And then, back in at it again, maybe Tuesday or whatever he wants to do, get the lads in and get preparing for Aston Villa. And we know how well Eddie does with that. So it's just an incredible situation that we find ourselves in. I mean, the Newcastle, I keep looking back and saying the Newcastle of old would have lost that game, and clearly we would have. But Eddie's done brilliantly at half-time again. He took a big risk with the changes. He thought, right, things need to be changed. And we've sometimes accused Eddie Howe waiting too long to make changes. But he was spot on, Alex, today.
Obviously you can't take away any credit from Eddie Howe, but I think there were a couple of the lads on the pitch that sort of echoed his words, mimicked his message, because I think Joe Linton and Trippier, those two specifically, stepped up as 2 senior pros. And literally, Joe Linton, for periods of that second half, grabbed the team by the scruff of the neck and said, we want 3 points. Yeah. Let's sort this out. And he was everywhere. Again, we talked about the fact he could play left wing, midfield. He's played centre forward. He's dropped into a double pivot now. He basically did all of those roles today again.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
He literally grabs the game by the scruff of the neck on his own. It's incredible.
Yep. Ian says, first experience on this channel listening to the game. Ended up here by default because the game was on nowhere else. Thanks for an enjoyable afternoon. Great crack too. Enjoy your night. Thanks, Ian. Hope you got yourself subscribed, matey. We will, of course, have live commentary of the Villa game as well. Tomorrow night, we do have, of course, the match review where we will look a bit more in-depth into things from today and just let the adrenaline settle a little bit. And then, of course, we'll do our player ratings. So do join us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for that, where we will have a very, very celebratory. It's been a tough week. It's been a busy week for us as a channel as well, but it's been a fabulous week if you support Newcastle United. There's no doubt about that. Billy, Alex, thank you very much, and we'll see you two tomorrow. Enjoy your night.
Good night, everyone.
Take care.
So there you go. There's Billy and Alex. Absolutely delighted with that performance. And look, sometimes you've got to win ugly. We didn't perform really well first half, but second half, absolute delight. An absolute delight. We blew them away. We did what we had to do. We defended really well for this latter part of the second half when we knew that Brentford were going to throw everything at us. And it just epitomizes the actual confidence and the positivity around this club at the minute. It is fantastic. But guys, if you have enjoyed today, thank you very much. Please do hit the like button. So important that we get loads of likes as well to help us up in the search results. As we've seen, a lot of people have been finding this channel on search results today, which has been fantastic. So the more likes and views we get, the better. And of course, if you're new to the channel, come and be part of this wonderful community on the Toon Review. We are really up and coming as a channel. Fantastic to see so many people get subscribed today. You're absolute legends. If you haven't, please do hit the subscribe button. Free to do so, and also that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live. We upload a video, which is practically every day. You'll get lots of Newcastle news right here. Follow us on our socials as well. Facebook, we have a group on there. Instagram, Twitter, and of course TikTok, we're on there as well. And you can become a member like so many wonderful people have done today with the super chats and memberships. So thank you very much. There's only one way to celebrate this win, and people are putting it in the emojis in already. Let's see what our little mascot had to say on today's game. Daisy is one hell of a happy heifer tonight. There is no doubt about it, guys. She is swinging on that wrecking ball like nothing else tonight. Robert Banks, thank you for your $5 super chat. He says, Billy, brilliant commentary as always, Paul. Thanks for the welcome, TTR family. Thank you very much, Robert. Much appreciated. So there you go. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for staying with me almost 3 hours on this afternoon. It's been a brilliant afternoon. It didn't look that way at halftime, but after that, the second half, we were superb. But thank you very much to each and every one of you. Nearly 2,500 watching at one stage. I'm blown away by the support we get on this channel. You are all absolutely fantastic people, and thank you very much. And I really, really do mean that, because without you guys, this channel isn't anything. So share it. Get people to subscribe. Help us get bigger and bigger as we go. As I say, we'll be back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock with the match review and the player rating. So join us at 8 o'clock tomorrow night for that. Let's see if you enjoy or agree, with the player ratings that we give. It always causes a bit of a stir. So please join us for that. Thank you very much to all the new members, super chats, everything today. And of course, for just viewing. Thank you so much. The mods, you've been absolutely incredible. Thank you so much as usual. Thank you to Billy and Alex as well. We'll see you tomorrow night. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have a great Easter Sunday tomorrow, and we'll see you at 8 o'clock. Good night.